Chapter 689. Before sunset, Su Yin and Lin Go finally got off the plane. Chang picked them up at the exit and immediately rushed back to the hotel. Along the way, Chang was quite excited, but Su Yin was not in the mood. He didn't tell Chang about Guoguo's dangerous situation. Lin Go knew Su Yin's thoughts very well. He just didn't want more people to worry. After all, even if he told them, they wouldn't be able to solve it. The only thing that comforted Su Yin was that Guoguo wasn't in any danger yet. However, it was only a matter of time before Leng Chen's people made a move. Su Yin knew this better than anyone else. Taking Guoguo away from Xinjiang was definitely not the solution. Although Leng Chen's people didn't make a move, Su Yin believed that they were already in the enemy's sights. After all, the enemy was so strong. However, when Su Yin returned to the hotel and didn't see Ruan Qingshuang and Guoguo, he was stopped by another person. "Mr. Su, your trip to Taiwan seems to be going well." Li Chun's appearance undoubtedly brought more trouble to Su Yin. "The big boss has asked me to wait for you here for many days. Since you're back, it means that the problem of Taiwan has been resolved smoothly. Shouldn't we talk now?" Chang asked with a blank face. "Who is this girl?" "My brother doesn't have time to talk to your big boss right now. If you know what's good for you, get out of here." Lin Go had suffered losses from the other party, so he didn't have a good impression of them. "Don't force me to do it. This isn't your territory. I think you should know very well, right? Pigeon, take the things up with Chang first. I should keep my promise. Since I'm back, I have to talk to the big boss." Su Yin was not impatient. Instead, he gladly accepted the big boss's invitation. "Miss Li, please." Li Chun was also surprised by Su Yin's cooperation. She was stunned for a moment and immediately said to Su Yin, "Please." Ruan Qingshuang and Guoguo prepared a sumptuous welcome banquet for Su Yin. But Su Yin had no time to enjoy it, because Su Yin had a new idea. Since it was very likely that Nether King Leng Chun was already preparing to deal with him, then he urgently needed an ally to help him through this crisis. However, Big Boss Bao Tianxia seemed to be the best ally that Su Yin could choose right now. No matter what the result was, Su Yin would have one less opponent. As long as the big boss was still interested in Kuei Baoanxing and Mountain, Su Yin was confident that he would help him. Even if Bao Tianxia knew in his heart that Su Yin wanted to eat each other, he would still do the same. After all, Su Yin had used this method to deal with Huang Xiong and Ji Feng. However, Cold Dust's opponent was several hundred levels higher than Huang Xiong and Ji Feng. When Bao Tianxia saw Su Yin coming back with Li Chun, he was very happy. He welcomed Su Yin to his reception room with a smile on his face. Speaking of which, Bao Tianxia was indeed a rich man. Xinjiang was one of the most expensive cities in Huaxia, and Bao Tianxia owned the largest villa in the most expensive villa district in the city. It could be said to be the most luxurious villa among luxurious villas. It had an indoor area of more than 1,000 square meters, an underground garage that could store more than 10 cars, a pleasing backyard and a domineering and clear outdoor swimming pool. "Big boss, I can't imagine how much money you have," Su Yin smiled. "I'm afraid you can't buy anything in this place without 300 or 500 million, right?" Bao Tianxia laughed heartily. "Ha ha ha, brother Su, you have good eyesight. However, you're talking about the value 3 years ago. Now land is getting more and more valuable." Su Yin raised his eyebrows. If that was the case, this place was really not something that could be bought with 300 or 500 million. "Brother Su, since you're so cooperative, let's get straight to the point, okay?" Bao Tianxia said. "I believe that with your strength, it shouldn't be difficult to go to Taiwan and deal with Ji Feng. Seeing that you came back with a smile on your face, things must have gone well. Now it should be time to solve our problem." Su Yin pointed at himself. "Big boss, are your eyesight starting to deteriorate at this age? How can this be considered a smile on my face? However, with my understanding of Brother Su, if you didn't solve the problem, you wouldn't have come back." Bao Tianxia said. "Who doesn't have some troubles? But I can't always accommodate Brother Su, right? You should also accommodate me. I don't have the patience to wait for everything to go smoothly for you before raising my conditions. Ha ha ha, what do you think?" Su Yin said indifferently. "Of course I don't dare to ask Big Boss to take care of me like this. However, I came here today to tell Big Boss that I'm afraid I can't help you with your problem. Bao Tianxia's eyes flashed with a cold light, but he quickly smiled and said, Brother Su, has anyone ever told you that your level of joking is really not that high? Haha, I've helped you so much. If you don't help me, do you think you can live with your face? Su Yin nodded. For someone who is about to play, face is really worthless. Big Boss, it's not that I don't want to help you, but I'm afraid that someone won't give me the chance to help you. Bao Tianxia didn't speak. He calmly looked at Su Yun, slowly picked up the teacup on the table, and drank a mouthful of hot tea. Li Chun, who was standing behind Bao Tianxia, said, Mr. Su, if you encounter any trouble and need our Big Boss's help, you can just ask. As long as you agree to help us solve the problem in Xing and Mountain, Big Boss will agree to any of your conditions. Bao Tianxia put down the teacup. Brother Su, we're already so familiar with each other. You can say whatever you want. If Big Boss can help me, I would have already asked, Su Yin smiled. I'm a thick-skinned person. I won't let go of any chance to help me. However, the problem this time is a bit big. I really don't have confidence in Big Boss. Huh? Bao Tianxia smiled and said confidently, Brother Su, at least tell me about it. Nether King, Su Yin said, Lung Chen. Bao Tianxia suddenly frowned. He stared at Su Yin in disbelief. He couldn't imagine what Su Yin had done to provoke Nether King Lung Chen. This wasn't some small fry from the underground world who thought they were big shots. This was a true expert. Su Yin tasted the tea lightly and said, Big Boss, this is why I'm here today. I'm afraid I won't live long enough to accompany you to Xing'an Mountain. Lung Chen is one of the three kings. Bao Tianxia, who had a conflicted expression, was suddenly stunned. He's one of the three kings. Are you kidding me? I'm afraid he's not qualified to replace one of the three kings. Su Yin was stunned. This was the first time that he had heard Bao Tianxia's words. In the past few years after Mao Bo's death, Lung Chen was the most popular candidate to replace him. Many people had tacitly agreed that Lung Chen was one of the three kings, including Su Yin. This was probably why Nether King Lung Chen believed in Green Ghost and the legend of the Zixahoya tribe. He wanted his own strength to soar. Only then would he be able to shut the mouths of those who didn't accept him as one of the three kings. This was also why he was a threat to Guagua. Big Boss, what do you mean? Su Yin said, Right now, it seems that everyone in the underground world will admit that Lung Chen is one of the three kings. This is just a rumor spread by Lung Chen himself. Even if everyone in the underground world admits it, he won't be able to become one of the three kings if he doesn't get the recognition of the other six kings. Bao Tianxia was a little agitated. Su Yin was also curious. Bao Tianxia was probably more mysterious than he had imagined. How did he know something that even he didn't know? In the underground world, the three kings were unreachable existences. Below them were the high and mighty seven kings. Bao Tianxia seemed to know more about this than Su Yin. Everyone knows that Lung Chen is Nether King Lung Chen. He's only one of the seven kings. He'll never be one of the three kings. Bao Tianxia said angrily. Su Yin probed. Big Boss, I'm really ignorant. Who are the seven kings you're talking about? Mr. Su, don't tell me you don't know. Li Chun said indifferently. With your strength, you're definitely not an ordinary person in the underground world. There's no way you haven't heard of the seven kings, right? I've heard of the seven kings, but I don't know who they are. After I came into contact with the underground world, I heard that Lung Chen is one of the three kings. However, Big Boss said that he's only one of the seven kings. This makes me a little confused. Su Yin said, Seven kings. Hee, Nether King Lung Chen sounds like he's only one of the seven kings. Bao Tianxia didn't seem to want to talk. He signaled for Li Chun to explain to Su Yin. Of course, because Lung Chen is one of the seven kings, Nether King Lung Chen. Li Chun said, but he's been coveting the position of one of the three kings for a long time. That's why he released so much information. Many people think that he's one of the three kings. This is just a high hat that he's trying to put on himself. Bao Tianxia snorted heavily. Before he reached the profound sky realm, he dared to say that he's one of the three kings. Lung Chen is really shameless. In terms of strength, he's definitely not the strongest among the seven kings. What qualifications does he have to make himself one of the three kings? The Power King, the Sword King, and the Evil King are all stronger than Lung Chun. Li Chun said. I don't know if Mr. Su knows about the others, but you definitely know about the Evil King. That's because the Evil King is your little brother Lin Ji's master, Lu Xuanji. Because he doesn't want others to know about his identity as one of the 7 kings, he slowly became known as the Evil God. Su Yin had stayed in the Dragon Brigade for too long. Only today did he realize that his understanding of the underground world was only on the surface. There were so many things that he didn't know about. Heavens, that's his old man Zhang's sworn brother. That means that his old man Zhang isn't someone to be trifled with. Could that Zhang Taisui be one of the 7 kings? Su Yin asked. Maybe Bao Tianxia and Li Chun could give him an explanation. Obviously, Li Chun was really stumped by this question. She unconsciously looked at Bao Tianxia. Old man Zhang isn't one of the 7 kings. However, his title of Taisui was given to him by the 7 kings because they don't dare to offend him. Bao Tianxia spoke again. At least the strongest of the 7 kings, the Power King, doesn't dare to point fingers at him. Oh, looks like the old man is doing pretty well. Even the 7 kings don't dare to point fingers at him. That's too awesome. So he was one of the 3 kings? Su Yun's curiosity was piqued. Bao Tianxia shook his head. No, but Zhang Taisui did challenge the weakest of the 3 kings, Mao Bo. In the end he lost. Hee, there's always someone better than you. Su Yun sighed. Bao Tianxia paused for a moment before continuing, but not long after, Mao Bo died. Although no one knows the cause of his death, who dares to deny that it was Zhang Taisui who caused him to suffer internal injuries? It's just that Zhang Taisui left earlier than Mao Bo, so he didn't get the title of one of the 3 kings, even if it was only for a day. Chapter 690. Su Yin had always wanted to know about this, but he had never heard anyone talk about it. He was indeed full of curiosity. He didn't expect Taisui to have such a glorious history. Even the death of Mao Bo, one of the 3 kings, might have been caused by him. To be honest, Su Yin didn't dare to believe Bao Tianxia's words. Su Yin, since I've said so much and mentioned Zhang Taisui, I might as well tell you that I haven't admired anyone among the 7 kings, but Zhang Taisui is someone I admire. Bao Tianxia said. This is why I've always given you face. In fact, I'm not giving you face, but giving Taisui face. Although I don't have much contact with him, I admire his strength and character. You can doubt me, but you have to admit that I really admire Zhang Taisui because he's the only dead person I've given face to. This is the greatest sincerity I can show. If he were still alive, he might not mind being my close friend. Su Yin smiled gently. It's a pity that the dead can't come back to life, so you can't expect the old man to come back to life and be your friend. However, Big Boss, you have to know that even if the old man is still alive and is your close friend, he will never help you force me to do anything I don't want to do. I don't have such wishful thinking. Don't misunderstand me. Bao Tianxia said. I don't admire Zhang Taisui because he can help me. It's because of his strength and character. Don't think of me as such a bad person. In fact, sometimes I'm quite good, aren't I? Su Yin nodded. Indeed. At least when you said you admired the old man, I thought you were a good person. However, I have a little doubt now. Although Big Boss admires the old man, you look down on the 7 kings. Naturally, that means you're not an ordinary person, right? At least you have the strength to look down on the other kings. Or at least be on an equal footing. There was a silence in the room. Su Yun's suspicion wasn't without reason. If Bao Tianxia didn't have the strength, why would he say that? Unless the 7 kings looked down on each other. If he didn't have the status, he wouldn't be qualified to say that. That's right. Big Boss is the Gold King of the 7 kings. Li Chun opened his mouth only after Bao Tianxia had given him permission to do so. He is indeed qualified to sit on the same level as the other kings. Su Yun sucked in a breath of cold air. Although this was unexpected, it was indeed reasonable. However, Bao Tianxia's identity still shocked Su Yun deeply. Bao Tianxia was actually one of the 7 most famous people in the underground world other than the 3 kings. Perhaps there were some loose practitioners whose strength was not weaker than the 7 kings, But their titles were definitely not based on their level of strength. Instead, it reflected a person's overall strength. It seemed that everyone in the underground world knew that Jin Wang was an ordinary person without any strength. However, he could make a group of experts work for him. This was also a reflection of his overall strength. No one could deny that he was the richest man in the entire underground world. If he wasn't a rich guy, how could he sit on the throne of the Jin King? The Jin Wang was the symbol of wealth. I really didn't expect this. Su Yin smiled. Big boss, I admit that your true identity really scared me. However, I'm afraid that this still isn't enough for me to help you. Everyone knows that Lung Chun is currently the most famous of the 7 kings. Perhaps he won't give me the time to help you. The chances of him giving you face and time isn't high. Bao Tianxia's expression darkened. I, Bao Tianxia, am someone who is on the same level as him. It's fine if he doesn't give me face, but I'm afraid that I won't give him face either. Respect was mutual. This sentence was not wrong at all. Although Bao Tianxia's identity shocked Su Yin had to admit that this shock also made him overjoyed. If he only relied on his own strength to fight against Lung Chun, his chances of victory were too low. However, if he received Bao Tianxia's help, the result might be completely different. Big boss, there's something that I don't know if I should say. Li Chun suddenly said. Going against Pluto really isn't a wise choice. Bao Tianxia naturally knew this, but he didn't have a choice right now. It wasn't that he wanted to go against Lung Chun, but because Lung Chun was dragging him down. He wouldn't allow anything that hindered him from achieving his goal. No matter who the other party was, no matter how strong the other party was, he had to solve the problem. This wasn't because Bao Tianxia had good intentions towards Su Yin, nor was it because he admired Zhang Muji that he would stand on Su Yun's side. Perhaps it was because he had long wanted a chance to get rid of Lung Chun. It wasn't because of anything else, but because Bao Tianxia also hoped that he would be the one to take over the vacant position of the 3 kings. Among the 7 kings, those who coveted that position were all Bao Tianxia's opponents. Su Yin realized that he had inadvertently seen the most interesting thing. Bao Tianxia's pursuit of a title was also burning hot. Thus, Su Yin suddenly thought of another question. As the Gold King, Bao Tianxia was already the richest person in the entire underground world. Why would he be so interested in the things buried in the Xing mountain range? Perhaps the things buried in that land weren't things that could be exchanged for more money, but things that could help him improve in other aspects. If Su Yun's guess was correct, what Bao Tianxia wanted the most at this moment was strength, enough strength to qualify him to become one of the 3 kings. Bao Tianxia's strength was at best a second or third-rate expert. To Su Yin, Bao Tianxia was already 50 years old. He probably wouldn't be able to catch up to Bao Tianxia, even if he spent his entire life trying to catch up to Bao Tianxia. Unless there was another possibility, Bao Tianxia had been hiding his true strength from the world. Su Yin realized that the more he thought about it, the more frightening Bao Tianxia became. This person was unfathomable. It even made Su Yin wonder if it was a wise choice to cooperate with Bao Tianxia. Since I treat Brother Su as a friend, I naturally have to help when a friend is in trouble. Bao Tianxia smiled. Brother Su, your words today have finally made me understand why Lung Chun came to Xinjiang this time. To think that I even asked him to catch up with me tomorrow night. It seems like he wants to meet me after he's done with your matter. Su Yin was shocked. You already know that Lung Chun is in Xinjiang. Don't be so agitated, Bao Tianxia said. According to my understanding, he's not here for you. After you told me today, I found out that he's here for the person you want to protect. Su Yin didn't have the time to waste here. Lung Chun's men could go to Xingkai and cause trouble for Guogua at any time. Goodbye, big boss. Su Yin got up and left in a hurry. He had to get back to the hotel as soon as possible. After Su Yin left, Li Chun said, Big boss, you're not really going to provoke the Netherworld King for Su Yin, right? He's famous for being ruthless. If we offend him, it might bring us a lot of unnecessary trouble. Of course I know that Lung Chun is ruthless, but whether I'm ruthless or not, I know better in my heart, Bao Tianxia said. Help me make an appointment with Lung Chun now. It seems like I can only treat him to a drink and catch up with him in advance. Whether Su Yin can escape today's disaster or not, I can only help him this much. Without Leng Chun, he should be able to deal with the others. After all, he has the evil god's disciple by his side. Li Chun nodded. He took a deep breath and said, I hope Big Boss can win this big gamble. I never make meaningless bets. Bao Tianxiao's eyes flashed with a green light. I dare to make a bet because I'm sure I'll win. Even if Leng Chun interferes, I won't let him ruin my plan. No one can. After Su Yin arrived at the hotel, everything was calm. However, he didn't have much time to breathe. Bao Tianxiao's words made it impossible for Su Yin to predict when Leng Chun would appear with his men. Even if running away wasn't a solution, he had to take them away. Sitting here and waiting for death was absolutely not an option. However, when he returned to the hotel, he found that Ruan Qingshuang, Guogua, and everyone else were not there. Only Dan Jiahao was waiting for him with a silly smile on his face. Brother Yin, you're finally back. Let's go. When Dan Jiahao saw Su Yin, he immediately went up and said, Let's go home. We'll have a party at home today. They've all gone back to prepare. They told me to wait for you here alone. At this time, Su Yin wasn't in the mood for entertainment. He pulled Dan Jiahao up and walked away. Don't dawdle. Let's go home. Call your brother and tell him to pack up immediately. We're going back to Hudong now. Back to Hudong. Dan Jiahao didn't understand what was going on. He was brought to the car by Su Yin and directly rushed to Yi Fala's villa. Dan Jiahao had only enjoyed life in the big city for a few days. He really didn't want to go back. However, when he saw Su Yin's serious expression, he didn't dare to ask. Obviously, something big had happened. When he made the call, the excited people at home were instantly dumbfounded. This announcement was too sudden. The beautiful night hadn't even started, and it was going to end. It was too disappointing. When Su Yin drove back, everyone was waiting at the villa's entrance. Lin Gu, Ruan Qingshuang, Guogua Chouyun, Qinwan Earbook Fifan Chang, and the 3 tigers of Nanqing were all there. There was also a talent that Shanzi had carefully selected from the chefs. He was the chef by Liang who had made the cold dinner for their party. Because of his heavy accent, everyone liked to call him Little Dongbei. What happened? Ruan Qingshuang saw Su Yin's nervous expression and couldn't help but ask with concern. Let's not talk so much. Let's leave Xinjiang now. Before Su Yin could finish his sentence, he heard the sound of an engine from afar. It's over. It seemed that they couldn't leave now. Everyone go back to the house. Lin Gu Chouyun, you two stay here. Lin Gu also realized that the situation was urgent. He reached into his pocket and took out a few coins. Chouyun's eyes also became cold. She was ready to face any danger. Su Yin, what happened? Qin Wan'er was stunned. However, she was a police officer after all. She learned to be calm in the face of danger. It was her basic quality. Now is not the time for me to explain to you. Protect Sister Shuang and Guogua. Leave the rest to me. Su Yin's tone didn't allow anyone to question him. This time, Qin Wan'er didn't argue with Su Yin because of her position as a police officer. Su Yin had slowly made her understand that the police's rules didn't work in the underground world. People in the underground world had their own rules. Captain Yanlong, I'm afraid you don't have the energy to worry about others. Yang Yi said coldly. What can be more important than your own life? After saying that, Yang Yi said to his subordinates, Go to the room and bring out the girl that the Netherworld King wants. As for the others, kill them all. The few people who received the order immediately rushed into the villa. Su Yin's anger increased greatly, and his killing intent completely exploded in an instant. He would never allow anyone to threaten the people he wanted to protect. Only to hear the cold wind whistling, Su Yin's move was accompanied by a biting cold wind, directly twisting the neck of one person. Of course, he would not let the other people go, but Yang Yi would not give Su Yin a chance to attack again. When Su Yin attacked the second person, Yang Yi was already in front of him. Yanlong, I'll say it again, your opponent is me. You really don't have the energy to do anything else. As soon as he finished speaking, Yang Yi turned his wrist and the sharp brass knuckles on his hand emitted a cold light. Suddenly, Yang Yi exerted force in his lower body and directly grabbed Su Yun's heart with the fierce tiger claws. Yang Yi's explosive power and speed were definitely among the best among the supermasters. Such a sudden attack caught Su Yun a little off guard. He kept retreating until Yang Yi's iron claws were not so sharp. Only then did he block it with his fist. At this time, Su Yun had been forced out of the range of protecting the villa from being invaded by Yang Yi. Su Yun knew very well that this was Yang Yi's purpose. If anyone inside is hurt, I will let you die a horrible death. The anger in Su Yun's heart was burning uncontrollably. He would never allow such a thing to happen. He would never allow anyone to hurt them. Yang Yi was very satisfied with Su Yun's anger. When the strength of both sides was equal, it was always advantageous to provoke the other party. Whether the people inside are unharmed or all dead, you will not let me go. So why don't I choose the latter? Su Yun didn't have time to talk nonsense. He had to get rid of Yang Yi first so that he could protect the people in the villa. The biting cold wind cut through the sky illuminated by the setting sun. Su Yun's iron fist was like a meteor across the sky. It directly hit Yang Yi's face with the momentum of a dragon's scissors. Yang Yi's left palm parried and his right fist suddenly used the broken tiger teeth, trying to use the brass knuckles to penetrate Su Yun's forearm. However, Su Yun's fist technique suddenly changed. His arm seemed to be able to bend where it couldn't bend. While dodging Yang Yi's brass knuckles, he suddenly threw a tricky punch at a position that Yang Yi couldn't predict at all. This punch was really inconceivable to Yang Yi. After his shoulder was hit, he had no choice but to retreat. In Yang Yi's view, Su Yun's arm just now was as agile as a snake. It was obviously a move from the long-lost ancient martial art spirit snake fist. Although Yang Yi was shocked, he didn't panic. When Su Yun attacked again, Yang Yi suddenly changed the way he defended with his brass knuckles. Instead, he used the simplest capturing technique to quickly control Su Yun's arm. This was the only way to restrain the spirit snake fist. When Su Yun saw Yang Yi's speed, he knew that he couldn't gain an advantage with this fist technique. He gathered strength in his arm and angrily broke free from the control of his arm. Then he used the Azure Dragon Fetches Water to force Yang Yi to take 2 steps back. Seeing that there was a chance to stop those people from entering the villa, Su Yun wanted to withdraw. However, Yang Yi didn't give Su Yun the chance. He directly went forward and used the evil tiger blocks the road to block Su Yun. At the same time, he gathered strength in his fists and used the roaring tiger manner to force Su Yun to continuously block and retreat. Yang Yi's strength was really too strong. It was impossible for Su Yun to solve the problem in a short period of time. At this time, the 3 subordinates arranged by Yang Yi had already broken through the door. Su Yun's heart instantly froze. It must be known that the strongest person in this room was Lu Feng of the southern city's 3 tigers. But when he faced those fellows who were at least second-rate experts, he was completely powerless to resist. If Yang Yi had given Su Yun 3 more seconds, giving Su Yun a chance to deal with those 4 people at once, the current dangerous situation wouldn't have happened. Damn it. All of Su Yun's anger turned into sharp punches. Twin flood dragons out of the cave. Stars falling sky. Goshawk hunting rabbit. Every move and every style was definitely aimed at Yang Yi's vital points. Yang Yi repeatedly retreated and blocked. At this time, he seemed to regret angering Su Yun. This was because Su Yun didn't do anything irrational because of anger. Instead, he poured all of his anger into his punches and vented it. Su Yun's mental strength was definitely the strongest among all the experts Yang Yi had ever seen. He could control his emotions and not be burned by anger. This was the mental strength control that only Earth Profound Realm experts could achieve. One had to know that Su Yun had once tyrannized himself because of anger. His murderous intent rose wildly. If it wasn't for Wang Yi's timely control, the consequences would have been unimaginable. After that, Wang Yi made Su Yun adhere to the breathing and expiration method every day. The purpose wasn't just to dispel his inner demons. There was a more important purpose, which was to let Su Yun learn to control his anger, so that he wouldn't disturb his original calmness because of his anger. All of this came in handy today. Even when Yang Yi ordered a few subordinates to wantonly kill in the villa, Su Yun didn't lose control because of anger. He still clearly knew who his opponent was. Yang Yi kept retreating. He was slightly distracted, and Su Yin seized the opportunity to catch him off guard. However, he quickly recovered. The harder Su Yin was to deal with, the more competitive Yang Yi was. Now, he wanted to see what kind of ability the Dragon Fury team's Captain Yan Long had to be able to imprison so many fierce people in the Martifrons Island's serious criminals prison. One of these fierce people was called Yang En, who was personally captured and sent to prison by Su Yin. That Yang En was Yang Yi's cousin who had the same grandfather as him. Today was Yang Yi's best chance to avenge his cousin. Although Pluto had ordered him to do his best to bring back Su Yin alive for him to see, Lung Chen wanted to do everything he could to bring Su Yin under his command. This way, he would be able to understand the secrets of the Dragon Brigade and realize his greater ambitions. However, Yang Yi did not think so. Today, even if he had to disobey Lung Chen's orders, he would definitely kill Su Yin. He had to kill him with his own hands to ease the hatred in his heart. At the same time, the battle between Lin Gu and Huang Yu had also entered a white-hot stage. It was not that Lin Gu had never fought against a super expert before, but those were all his own people. This was the first time he was facing a super expert who truly wanted to kill him. This kind of nervousness was unavoidable. Huang Yu had never thought that the demon god's disciple would be so strong. This was far beyond his expectations. The battle had only started for less than 5 minutes, and he had already used 100% of his energy to face Lin Gu. However, he still could not gain any advantage over him. What made Lin Gu even more depressed was that he could not gain any advantage over Huang Yu. However, Huang Yu knew how to use poison, and his technique was superb. This was what worried Lin Gu the most. This was because he did not know whether Huang Yu had not used any poison, or if he had already been poisoned and was unaware of it. Although Chou Yun managed to gain an advantage over Peng Juanda quickly used the medicine he carried with him to stop the blood from flowing out of his arm. As a man, he was actually being chased around by a woman. Of course, he was furious. However, no matter how angry he was, Chou Yun's sword speed made it impossible for him to play any tricks. Peng Juanda now hoped that someone could help him distract Chou Yun a little. Even if he had half a second, he would have the opportunity to take out some bewitching powder from his pocket and sprinkle it in the air. As long as Chou Yun breathed in a little bit, he could guarantee that she would obediently submit to him within 10 minutes. Even if he wanted her to strip naked, she would not hesitate. Chapter 692. Fox Noble. Even if you can kill me now, you've still lost. Peng Juanda retreated as he sneered. Su Yin couldn't stop our people from entering the house. I'm afraid the house is in a mess right now. Ha ha ha. Your cute little sister's life is no longer up to you. Guogua's crisis was the only thing that could touch Chou Yun's heart. Although she knew it was Peng Juanda's trick, she still couldn't control herself from turning around to look. Peng Juanda finally seized the opportunity to pull out a paper bag the size of a fingernail from his shirt pocket. He quickly broke it with his fingernail and threw it at Chou Yun. The 3 people who had entered the house had stimulated Chou Yun's killing intent to another level. When she turned around to kill Peng Juanda as quickly as possible to protect Guogua, she smelled a pungent chemical smell. This smell was like a sharp knife, ruthlessly piercing Chou Yun's brain. The momentary trance didn't stop Chou Yun from stabbing with her flexible sword. Perhaps her anger had triggered Chou Yun's hidden explosive power. The sword accurately pierced into Peng Juanda's chest. Peng Juanda was shocked. He retreated as fast as he could, preventing Chou Yun's sword from piercing his heart. Such a dangerous situation made Peng Juanda break out in cold sweat. He felt lucky that he had retreated quickly. Otherwise, he would have to play chess with the Duke of Zhou in the underworld. The mental pain once again invaded Chou Yun's brain. She knew very well that she had fallen into Peng Juanda's trick. The only thing she could do now was to kill Peng Juanda, while she could still control herself. The flexible sword in Chou Yan's hand was getting fiercer and fiercer as it pierced towards Peng Juanda. With a single move, she directly forced Peng Juanda into a corner with no way out. Of course, Peng Juanda wouldn't treat himself like a fish on a chopping block. He fought back with all his might. However, Chou Yun had no intention of returning to defend. Just as Peng Juanda was about to counterattack, Cho Yun resolutely used a move to perish together with Peng Juanda. Facing the cunning Peng Juanda, Cho Yun fell for his little trick again. Guoguo's life was in danger. Every move she made was aimed at her opponent's vital points. Every move was ruthless, and every strike was vicious. She was fighting with her life on the line. If Peng Juanda did not cherish his own life so much, he would have seen through Cho Yun's weakness long ago. He would have only needed one move to make her unable to fight back. However, Peng Juanda would not take the risk. What he needed to do now was to wait for Cho Yun's medicine to take effect. When the time came, he would be defeated. However, the more it was like this, the more trouble Peng Juanda was in. His chest, shoulders, knees, and arms had already been injured from dodging and blocking Cho Yun's fatal sword moves. It could be said that he was the most injured among the three of them. When Yang Yi saw that Peng Juanda was in danger of losing his life at any time, he had no choice but to step forward to help him solve the problem. Of course, Yang Yi definitely didn't help because he cared about Peng Juanda's life, but because he cared about Peng Juanda's medical research. If Peng Juanda's research was successful, they would all be able to improve their strength. This improvement was definitely not the same as the effect of eating the forbidden medicine, Yin Yang pill. Of course, Hades Lung Chen also cared about Peng Juanda's medical research very much. Therefore, Yang Yi absolutely couldn't let Peng Juanda die under Cho Yun's sword. Yang Yi's help did indeed solve Peng Juanda's crisis, but it put his entire back into Su Yun's control. The biggest taboo when facing an enemy was to show one's back to the enemy. After Yang Yi did this, he immediately realized that he had made a big mistake that could not be made up for. Su Yun's move, pushing the clouds and pushing the moon, hit Yang Yi's back hard. Yang Yi spat out a mouthful of pus and blood on Peng Juanda's face. Su Yun's palm, which was infused with qi, naturally had the strength to destroy Yang Yi's internal organs. The internal injuries that Yang Yi suffered were definitely enough to make him lose all his fighting strength. Yang Yi, you're crazy. Seeing this, Huang Yu couldn't care less about dealing with Lin Ge. He quickly retreated to the side of the two, and put up a defensive posture to protect them. Just as the momentum was turning to Su Yun's side, Cho Yun's vision turned black and she fell backward. Fortunately, Su Yun's eyes were sharp and his hands were fast. He caught Cho Yun in his arms. It could be said that this was an evenly matched battle. Both sides had people who lost their fighting strength. If Lung Chen was present today, perhaps Su Yun's team would have been wiped out long ago. Su Yun knew that he hadn't lost his bet. Although Bao Tianxia was an evil person, Su Yun still owed him a favor in this matter. Fortunately, Bao Tianxia was able to think of a way to send Lung Chen over to his side. Otherwise, there would be no hope at all. Just facing off against the three experts under Lung Chen was already like this. If Lung Chen, who had the strength of an Earth-profound realm expert, were to make a move, they would really lose in an instant. Let's make a deal. Although Peng Juanda's body had many sword wounds, they were all superficial. They were definitely not enough to cause any threat. Let's both take a step back. Let us take Yang Yi and leave. I'll give you the antidote to save Fox Venerable. She breathed in my soul-perishing powder. If she doesn't get the antidote within 24 hours, she will lose her humanity and shut off all her emotions. At that time, she won't remember anyone. She will only have one thought, and that is to kill. What a vicious poison. Su Yun wished that he could kill Peng Juanda right now. This soul-perishing powder was made by me. Only I have the antidote. If you don't believe me, then let's make a bet. Peng Juanda said. I guarantee that you will regret it. Why should I believe you? Lin Ge said. What if you give me a fake one? Peng Juanda took out a paper bag from his pocket. I can swear that if this antidote is fake, I will die a horrible death. Moreover, I can give you the antidote first, but you must let us go. Moreover, you don't have a choice because our people have already entered the room. If you don't hurry up, I'm afraid. All right. I agree to let you go. Su Yun didn't hesitate at all, and took a step forward. However, Peng Juanda threw the antidote behind Su Yun, and the others from afar. Su Yun didn't bother to argue with them. He turned around and picked it up. Peng Juanda and Huang Yu quickly got up, and helped the seriously injured Yang Yi into the car and left. After finding the antidote, Su-yin directly threw it to Lin Ge. Give it to her quickly. He rushed back to the room as fast as he could. The other party's 3 subordinates had already entered for a few minutes. Su-yin only hoped that they could hold on for a while longer. He only hoped that no one would lose their life because of this matter. If someone died because of this matter, Su-yin would fall into an inextricable guilt once again. When Su-yin broke through the door, he was shocked by the pungent smell of blood. His eyes immediately saw the blood slowly flowing down the stairs. Buzz. Su-yin's mind instantly went blank. He didn't have time to think about anything else and rushed upstairs as fast as he could. Just as he reached the 2nd floor, he felt a gust of cold wind coming at him. Su-yin didn't even think about it and blocked the attack. He used a grappling technique to capture the attacker. After taking a closer look, he couldn't help but exclaim, "Little Northeast?" The person who attacked Su-yin was indeed Lil Dongbei by Liang. His arm was tightly held by Su-yin. He said in pain, "Chief Su. Ah. It hurts. It hurts." When Su-yin let go of Lil Dongbei, he saw the 3 dead intruders on the 2nd floor. All of them had their carotid arteries pierced with a sharp knife. At this moment, Bai Liang was standing in front of Su-yin. He was holding a kitchen knife used for chopping meat in his left hand, and a sharp boning knife in his right hand. Both knives were stained with blood. Ruan Qingshuang and the others were behind Bai Liang. Ruan Qingshuang and Qin Waner covered Guogua and Bufifen's eyes with their hands. They didn't want their children to see such a bloody scene. "Chief Su, what the hell is going on? I really didn't want to kill anyone, but these people wanted to kill me. I stabbed their hands and legs, but it didn't work. These bastards didn't care about their lives at all. They just wanted to kill us. I was just defending myself." Bai Liang woke up from the crisis just now and realized that he was in trouble. Su-yin hugged Bai Liang's shoulder. After all, he was only a 16 or 17-year-old kid. Even if the 3 tigers of Southern City were to bear the responsibility, they wouldn't be able to accept it. "Lil Dongbei, you're right. You were defending yourself. Don't be afraid. Everything will pass. I'll take responsibility for everything." Bai Liang nodded vigorously. Su-yin was really surprised. How did this kid do it? A cold meal chef apprentice was actually able to take care of 3 second-rate experts in one go. What the hell? Although today's situation was very critical, there were gains and losses. He actually found Lil Dongbei such a treasure. Before Su-yin could ask Lil Dongbei what had happened, Qin Waner said regretfully, "Although it was self-defense, it was excessive self-defense that caused death. There's no time to find out who is responsible." Su-yin retorted, "Lil Dongbei's defense was not excessive at all. If he didn't attack here today, all of you have already, including you, Waner. They only want Guogua. They will kill all of you and take away Guogua. Do you know?" Qin Waner didn't refute. She nodded obediently. "I know. The underground world has its own rules. I won't participate in today's matter as a police officer. I know the seriousness of the matter." "Oh my God. Sister Qin, you're a police officer?" Bai Liang was dumbfounded. "I haven't married yet. I don't want to go to jail." "No one wants you to go to jail. Su-yin. I'll take responsibility for everything today. Although she's a police officer, she won't make things difficult for you. Boss Su, I'll follow you from now on. Unless I have a wife and a fat kid for the Bai family, I won't go to jail." Bai Liang was very concerned about Qin Waner's identity. Su-yin nodded. "You're my man from now on. No one can take you to jail. I owe you a favor. You've helped me protect so many people. If you have any problems in the future, just tell me. I'll help you. Just treat me as your brother. Don't call me Boss Su. Call me brother." Bai Liang was relieved. "Brother, I have something to do now. Find me a wife as soon as possible. It's too dangerous to follow you. I have to let the Bai family have a descendant." "Wait until your hair is all tied up," Su-yin said helplessly. This kid was really a genius. After Lin Ge gave Cho Yun the antidote for the soul-dissipating powder, he was also helped to the room. Everyone didn't hesitate and prepared to move. Only Lin Ge was left to clean up the scene. They couldn't live in this house anymore. No matter what, 3 people had died. Bufifen also decided to find an agent to sell and buy another house. But the problem was, where should they go? They couldn't go to the hotel. If Lung Chun went there, innocent people would be implicated. The villa was exposed again. They had nowhere to go. Why don't we go to my place? Dan Jiahao suddenly said. I'm thinking about settling down in Xinjiang with Wen Yi in the future. I paid a loan to buy a house. Although it's only 100 square meters and is a bit remote, it's still a place to stay. Chapter 693. Although the property that Dan Jiahao bought in Xinjiang was not big, and its location had nothing to do with the city, the down payment still made his heart ache. However, his action did surprise his brother, Dan Hongning, a little. He was surprised that his brother, who used to be immature, had grown so much. At least his decision was a sign of maturity. This kid is not bad. There aren't many young people who can make progress like this. At least he has the courage to take responsibility. Lu Feng also appreciated Dan Jiahao's approach. He smiled and said to Lu Wenyi, at least I dare say that 99% of the young people in Huaxia rely on their parents to get married and buy a house. Even if their parents are just ordinary people, they will still choose to rely on them instead of relying on themselves. Dan Jiahao's face turned red. Don't praise me anymore. If you praise me again, I'll fly to the sky. I can be where I am today all because of Brother Yin. If he didn't support me at that time and give me a job as a security guard at the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel, and also give me the opportunity to manage the hotel, I wouldn't have been able to earn so much money to pay the down payment. Besides, I dared to buy a house because I know that if I follow Brother Yin, I won't be so poor that I can't even pay the loan. Otherwise, I wouldn't be so bold. Is there anything worse than following me now? Today, I almost made you all lose your lives. Su Yun said helplessly. You're just confident in yourself. As long as you know how to shoulder your responsibilities, you'll be able to stand out no matter where you are. Even without me, I believe you'll still be able to live well. Without you, I would still be a gangster in a small county in Hudong. Dan Jiahao shook his head vigorously. No, I should say that I'm just a small gangster. There's a world of difference between me and my brother, these big gangsters. Not to mention a house, even buying a car would take a lot of effort. While everyone was chatting in the living room, they were slowly recovering from the frightening battle that had just taken place. No one wanted to think about what had just happened. In the bedroom, Chou Yun and Qin Wan also slowly comforted the frightened Guogua and Ruan Qingshuang. Compared to the past, Ruan Qingshuang's tolerance had improved a lot. In the past, she would be so scared that she couldn't sleep at night because of the fight between Su Yun and a few gangsters in front of the Medicinal Cuisine restaurant. But now, she could learn to be calm after experiencing such a big storm. Who were those people? Seeing that Guogua had fallen asleep, Bufifan raised his doubts. Aunt Shuang, what kind of trouble did you get yourself into? Ruan Qingshuang gently patted Bufifan's shoulder. Children shouldn't worry about these things. Don't worry, everything will pass. Just don't go to school when school starts this time. I'll help you call the head teacher to ask for leave. Bufifan didn't care if Gu Shijiu could go to school or not. He didn't like school to begin with. What he wanted to know was who wanted to hurt Guogua. He definitely wouldn't allow it. However, Bufifan knew very well that he alone was not enough to protect others. He was the one being protected. In the face of such danger today, he had no power to fight back at all. If Lil Dongbei had not stepped forward bravely, he would have been dead. Wan'er, I know you're the most conflicted person right now. Chou Yun said faintly. There are some things I don't know how to explain to you. But the police really don't have the ability to deal with people who want to harm us. Qin Wan'er nodded. Compared to before, she had learned what to do and what not to do. I understand. You really don't have to worry about me. Just take care of Sister Shuang. Little Dongbei, let's talk. Su Yin was in the kitchen. Seeing that little Dongbei was making supper for everyone with limited ingredients, he walked behind him. Bai Liang turned around and saw Su Yin. He immediately nodded and said, Boss Su. No, Brother Yin, if you have any orders, just tell me. You're so agile. Does your family know about it? Su Yin asked. Bai Liang shook his head at Su Yin as he served the supper. My family doesn't know. I don't have the chance to show off in front of them. What does your family do? Su-yin was curious. My father is a pig butcher. Regardless of whether it's in the mountains or in the town. If anyone wants to kill a pig, they'll invite him. Although the money isn't much, my family lives well. We have pig head meat for every meal. Bai Liang seemed quite satisfied. My father doesn't have high expectations. As long as he can have pig head meat for every meal and drink some wine, that's enough. How did you come to Xinjiang? Su-yin continued to ask. Of course, a pig butcher couldn't have taught his son to be so skilled. There must be someone else behind Bai Liang. This kid from the mountains must have his own story. Bai Liang sighed. Brother Yin, that's a long story. I dropped out of school when I was 14. It wasn't because my family didn't have the money to go to school, but because I didn't want to. To punish me, my father made me chop firewood in the mountains and sell it in town. This work isn't for humans. Firewood isn't worth much. Even if I work myself to death, I can only earn a few yuan a day. I want to learn how to kill pigs, but my father won't teach me. Su-yin couldn't help but laugh. You still want to pass on your father's skills and cultivate your Bai family into a family of pig butchers. It's not that I didn't have that thought. Bai Liang chuckled. Later on, I really came across an opportunity. Su-yin knew that the main point was coming. He nodded and signaled for Bai Liang to continue. I met an old man in the mountains. The old man said that as long as I brought him 2 tails of pig head meat and a bottle of wine every day, he would teach me a set of pig butcher knife skills. I said, do you need to learn knife skills to kill pigs? When my father killed pigs, he knocked them out with a club and stabbed them in the neck to let them bleed. But the old man told me that the knife skills he taught me could not only kill domestic pigs, but wild boars as well. Bai Liang laughed foolishly. If it were now, I wouldn't believe him. But at that time, I was still young and immediately kowtowed to him. For the next 2 years, I stole pig head meat and wine from home every day, just to learn how to kill wild boars. Su-yin knew that little Dongbei was lucky to have met an expert. To be able to train a child to such a level in just 2 years, he definitely wasn't an ordinary person. Although little Dongbei didn't train his state of mind, he was able to kill those 3 experts with just his quick movements. This showed that the old man he spoke of was definitely a very powerful person. Then what was his name? Su-yin asked. Bai Liang shook his head. I asked, but he didn't say. He told me to just call him Old Man. I called him Old Man, and he called me Little Dongbei. I stole pig head meat and wine for him for 2 years, and he taught me knife skills for 2 years. And then? Why didn't he continue to teach you? Su-yin continued asking. My dad found out that I stole wine and meat, Bai Liang said helplessly. Bai Liang helplessly said. Then I could only confess everything that I needed to confess. My father felt that I had met a swindler who was trying to cheat me of the pig head meat, so he didn't let me go out to the mountains. In the past 2 years, I had indeed stolen too much pig head meat and sorghum wine from home. My father calculated for me and was shocked. In the past 2 years, I had stolen nearly 150 caddies of pig head meat and 280 caddies of sorghum wine. Without Su-yin asking again, little Dongbei took a deep breath and continued. My dad beat me up and then locked me up for a week without letting me go out. Later, I seized the opportunity when he went to the county to kill pigs and ran out. I was going to the mountains to find the old man and ask him what happened. In the end, I couldn't find him. On the way home, I was really unlucky. I actually met a wild boar. Usually, when the old man was around, I couldn't find a wild boar to practice with. Now that the old man was gone, the wild boar appeared. I was really scared at that time. In the end, you still killed the wild boar? Su-yin was really surprised. A teenager killing a wild boar. If it wasn't for the guidance of an expert for 2 years, the wild boar would have pierced hundreds of big holes in his body. Bai Liang didn't deny it. Yes, I had no choice. I could only fight. It was my first time killing a wild boar. After I dragged the beast home, I weighed it and found that it was 600 kilograms. When my dad came back, he didn't believe that I killed the wild boar. He thought that even if it was a dead wild boar, it would be impossible for me to drag it back. Su-yin smiled bitterly. If he was his father, he wouldn't believe it either. A 600-kilogram dead wild boar. How much strength did it take to drag it back home? After that, my dad thought that my brain was damaged. Coincidentally, my uncle was a construction worker in Xinjiang. My dad asked my uncle to bring me to the big city to learn how to cook. He felt that no matter how bad a chef was, he wouldn't starve. Bai Liang said it very casually. Then my uncle asked his boss's boss for help. The boss was in a good mood that day and introduced me to Xinkai Hotel to be an apprentice. When this kid first arrived at Xinkai Hotel, he must have been very excited. Sigh, it's a pity that good people don't live long. My uncle was such a good person, but he fell to his death in a construction accident a few months ago. Bai Liang shook his head helplessly. His expression was a little sad. Su Yin didn't know how to comfort him. He could only pat him. That was just an accident. No matter what, good people always live longer than bad people. Brother Yin, I was really scared today. I was really afraid that I would kill people to save everyone. And then the organization would shoot me. Bai Liang exhaled. To be honest, I didn't feel anything when I killed the 3 people today, because I felt that they didn't have any human aura. They were similar to animals like wild boars. Other than killing intent, there was only killing intent. I was forced to do it. The organization has already forgiven you. Su Yin smiled. I can see that you're not a bad person. I also believe that you definitely don't want to do something like killing people. The 3 people you killed today all had a blood debt on their hands. What you did was just to make them pay with their blood. Bai Liang smiled slightly. Brother Yin, I'm going to follow you in this life. I really like chatting with you. Why do I feel so relaxed when chatting with you? Brother, you're a good person. In the future, I'll do whatever you ask me to do. I'll listen to you. Little Dongbei, how's the preparation of our supper? We've prepared the wine. We're just waiting to toast to you and thank you. Dan Jiahao hurried over from the living room. Bai Liang pointed at the simple supper prepared and said, You only have these things at home. I'm just an apprentice. Can I just make do with it? Okay. This is already very sumptuous. It doesn't matter what we eat. What's important is that we have to thank you for your righteous actions today. Dan Jiahao smiled as he helped Bai Liang pick up the not-so-sumptuous supper. All of us owe you our lives. From now on, you're our brother. Even though you're still young, we still have to give you a proper toast. Brother Yin, go sit. We can't let you carry the dishes. Winnie, come over and take the dishes from Brother Yin's hands. Why are you so blind? Chapter 694. About an hour later, Lin Ge rushed back according to the address Dan Jiahao gave him. He hurriedly ate a few mouthfuls of supper, then sat on the sofa and didn't want to get up. Brother, I'm afraid today's matter isn't over. Lung Chen must know now that his people have failed, and you even heavily injured his most trusted person, Yang Yi. I really don't know what that guy will do after he goes crazy. Although I injured Yang Yi, with ghost Dr. Peng Juanda by his side, he won't die. Su Yin said. Even though Lung Chen will go crazy, his current target might not be us anymore. Someone will choose to treat him to a meal at this critical moment, and while he's eating, his people won't be able to accomplish anything. If I were Lung Chen, I would also wonder why tomorrow's meal was brought forward to today. Lin Ge was a little confused. He didn't know what Su Yin and Bao Tianxia talked about today. Bao Tianxia was one of the 7 kings, the Jin King. This was something Lin Ge didn't dare to imagine. He might not even know that the old man who taught him all his skills was one of the 7 kings. Su Yin smiled faintly. I don't know what will happen tomorrow, but at least we can rest assured tonight. Sleep well. Someone is holding Lung Chen back today, and Lung Chen will definitely ask that person clearly. Besides, Dan Jiahao bought this house without even us knowing. Even if Lung Chen has the ability, it'll be hard for him to find out in a short time. Brother Yin, don't make me sound like a nouveau riche. I've borrowed a lot of money. Dan Jiahao explained again. After we're done with this, can't I continue to work at the hotel to earn money? Otherwise, I won't be able to pay back the loan next month. Don't make yourself sound so pitiful, Lin Ge said. If you really don't have money, I still have some. Is 3,000 enough? I'll lend it to you first. Dan Jiahao really wanted to kill himself. 3,000 thoughts? What could he do with that? At most, it would be enough for them to drink some beer at the bar and sing at the KTV. If they were to ask 2 princesses to come, they might not even be able to afford the bill. Su Yin shrugged his shoulders. Even if you really don't have the money to pay off the loan, and the bank wants to take your house, your brother won't just stand by and watch you live on the streets. Besides, even if your biological brother doesn't care about you, don't you still have Brother Lu? He can't just watch his cousin suffer with you, right? Brother Yin, you've really misjudged me. If he can't pay the mortgage, I really won't care about him. He can only blame himself for being incapable. Dan Hongning said. The more capable you are, the more trouble you will face. If you don't have the ability to earn that kind of money, then don't expect to enjoy the things that only people of that level can afford. Lu Feng was also quite supportive of Dan Hongning. Brother Yin, do you really think that I will agree to my sister being with a trash that can't even pay the mortgage? F***ck. Dan Jiahao was speechless. Can you guys not give me so much pressure? If you continue to put pressure on me, then I won't be polite. If you want to stay here tonight, then pay up. 100,000 yuan per night. Otherwise, you can leave. Don't forget that this is my house. My name is written on the real estate certificate. Sister, if your name isn't written on the small book, you definitely can't be with him. Lu Feng turned around and said to Lu Wenyi. Lu Wenyi shrugged her shoulders. If he performs well, I can consider adding his name on the book. Everyone suddenly realized that Dan Jiahao's name wasn't written on the real estate certificate. Lu Feng laughed heartily. Dan Hongning had a bitter smile on his face. He really didn't know if his brother was really smart or just pretending to be stupid. However, if he could do this, it clearly showed that he really cared about old Lu's cousin. If so, as a brother, he sincerely wished them well. Tianxiang Fish Restaurant was the most famous and luxurious fish restaurant in Xinjiang. Of course, the chef here was definitely the best fish chef in all of Xinjiang. Give him 100 different types of fish, and he would definitely be able to make 100 different flavors. This was why even though the price of Tianxiang Fish Restaurant was so high, there were still people who liked to eat fish. The reason why Bao Tianxiao arranged for him and Leng Chen to meet here was because he was very clear about Leng Chen's tastes and preferences. Leng Chen was obviously very satisfied with Bao Tianxiao's hospitality. He was also quite satisfied with the chef here. After he finished dealing with important matters, he would definitely have a good chat with the chef and ask if he was willing to go to the Southeast Island with him. Of course, even if the chef wasn't willing to go, Leng Chen had a way to make him go with him. However, after receiving a phone call, Leng Chen's interest in the chef disappeared. This was because the most important thing he came to Xinjiang for was messed up. Brother Leng, looking at your expression, did something happen in your harem? Bao Tianxia smiled and carefully tasted the fragrance of the Longjing tea in his cup. Leng Chen tried to calm his breathing as he stared at Bao Tianxia with a gloomy and calm gaze. Brother Bao, I really hope that today's matter has nothing to do with you. But now I can't help but wonder why you had to bring forward our appointment for tomorrow's meal to today. What? Could it be that your elder brother has delayed you from something important? Bao Tianxia played dumb. Aya, didn't I already explain that I have important matters to take care of in Yanjing tomorrow? If I don't take this opportunity to invite you to a meal in Xinjiang today, I'm afraid I'll have to wait until the next time. Brother Leng, you're thinking too much. The corner of Leng Chen's mouth twitched. Your brother Bao hasn't thought of me for so many years, but you're suddenly so enthusiastic today. You're saying I'm thinking too much? How can I not think too much? Brother, what do you mean by that? I really don't understand. Bao Tianxia smiled. Right now, you have the highest chance of becoming one of the 3 emperors in the underground world. I can't wait to curry favor with you, so why would I ruin your plans? Don't give me that. You know what I'm talking about. Leng Chen's voice was stiff. Bao Tianxia, don't think that I don't know what you're thinking. You've never been convinced by anyone among the 7 kings. You don't think that I'm qualified to be one of the 3 emperors. I'm afraid that you're the one who covets that position more, right? Bao Tianxia smiled. Since brother says so, I'm not afraid to admit it. It's a pity that I don't have the strength to do so. If I had the strength of Brother Lung, I would really feel that I'm worthy. Ha ha ha, Brother Lung. Could it be that you're already an expert in the sky profound realm? Humph, Brother Bao. Are you insinuating something? Lung Chen said. I admit that I haven't reached the sky profound realm, but in the near future, I'll definitely reach the height that I want to reach. But today you've ruined all my plans. Brother Bao, do you have anything else to explain? Bao Tianxia's face changed. Lung Chen, what do you mean by that? Do you have some other unorthodox method that can help you quickly increase your strength? Hearing Bao Tianxia's words, Lung Chen's expression became more and more serious. It seems that Brother Bao's information is quite fast. If I'm not wrong, Brother Bao wants to snatch people from me, right? Bao Tianxia's forehead was already sweating. He had never told anyone this secret. Could it be that Lung Chen also found out about it by himself? Under the ice forest of the Xing and mountain range, there wasn't just a treasure buried there. There was also a very important thing. That was Paboyu. Because Bao Tianxia had been in contact with antiques for many years, it could be said that he had a very deep understanding of human history. Unintentionally, he learned a secret about the Zixahoya tribe. The Zixahoya tribe, together with Paboyu, which had already disappeared from the world, could rapidly and greatly increase the strength of a practitioner's mental state. Bao Tianxia thought that he was the only one in the world who knew about this important historical secret. Therefore, when he finally got his hands on a Zikijoa 10 years ago, he spent the past 10 years searching for Paboyu. Finally, after reading all the ancient jade books in the world and going through a lot of research, he dared to conclude that the land under the ice forest of the Xing and mountain range was the resting place of a very important Zixahoya tribe leader. That was also the only place where he could find Paboyu. Since Bao Tianxia was given the title of Jin King and was the richest person in the entire underground world, he naturally wouldn't be so obsessed with money. He had always been unwilling to let go of that land. His main goal wasn't to chase after the priceless human treasures underground, but more importantly, to find Paboyu. As long as he had Paboyu and the Zikuhoya clansmen that he had imprisoned for 10 years, he would be able to greatly increase his strength. As long as he could reach the profound sky realm before the other 7 kings, he would be able to ascend to the position of one of the 3 sovereigns. What Bao Tianxia wanted wasn't just money, he also wanted status and fame. If he wanted to gain a long-term foothold in the underground world where talents were abundant, and become a person whose name would be passed down for generations, he had to become one of the 3 kings. Only then would he be remembered by the world for eternity. At this moment, Bao Tianxia was worried that Lung Chen knew his secret and wanted to obtain Su Yin. Lung Chen also wanted Su Yin to help him find the Paboyu that was buried underground. At this moment, Lung Chen was also thinking about another matter. He suspected that Bao Tianxia already knew about the power of the little girl besides Su Yin, and that Bao Tianxia wanted to compete with him for that little girl. Although the two of them didn't suspect each other for the same reason, their goal was the same. Both of them were after this shocking secret. The vague words made both of them believe that the other party knew about their secret, so the atmosphere became more and more tense. Bao Tianxia, since you don't want to say it, then I'll make it clear. Lung Chen sneered. With your skills that even second-rate experts can't compare to, even if you get what you want, you still won't be able to reach the height you want. Why don't you give this opportunity to me? When I become one of the 3 kings, I definitely won't forget how good you are. Bao Tianxia gulped. Since you've already made it clear, then I don't need to hide it anymore. Lung Chen, there's nothing that I can't get when I want it. You know that. Then what do you think you can do to me with your little bit of strength? I admit that you're an old fox, but as long as I don't fall into your trap, I'm afraid that you don't have the ability to deal with me, right? Lung Chen raised his head arrogantly and looked at Bao Tianxia with disdain. Bao Tianxia narrowed his eyes and laughed coldly. Lung Chen, since you said that I'm an old fox, then why don't you suspect that I've been hiding my true strength all these years? Chapter 695. Brother Lung, I'm afraid I would have died a long time ago if I didn't have some life-saving secrets. Bao Tianxia sneered. Do you really think that a piece of trash like me can control so many super experts under me? Is there no one who wants to rebel against me? Want to kill me? Why is it that I've been living well until now? Bao Tianxia paused for a moment, then continued, because those who tried to kill me and usurp my power have all been taken care of by me. That's why I've been able to survive until now. I'm not like you, who want the whole world to know about every little breakthrough. I just need to let the whole world know the moment I break through to the sky profound realm. Lung Chen narrowed his eyes, and his killing intent became even colder. You want to break through to the sky profound realm? You need to have the life and opportunity to get what you want. You always think that you can get what you want, but you forget that I am the same kind of person. Since none of us want to sacrifice our own interests and want to fight for that position, Brother Bao, don't blame me for being black-hearted. This is my only chance to truly surpass the ancient magpie realm. If I don't seize it, the successor of the three kings won't be me, but the Power King. Compared to the ancient magpie realm, you're so weak, Bao Tianxia said. You and I can't estimate how many experts there are in his Hunter Academy, but I'm different from you. If I have the power, I can use money to quickly gather my troops. When that time comes, no matter how many experts there are in the ancient Magpie Realm's Hunter Academy, I'm afraid I won't be afraid. You're thinking too much, Brother Bao. If you don't want this day next year to be the anniversary of your death, you can use your wealth to redeem your life. I believe that you can give me an amount that I can't refuse. Lung Chen was ready to attack at any moment. Bao Tianxia snorted. Sorry, Brother Lung, but this day next year is my birthday. I'm afraid I can't spend so many important days on one day. Before you attack, think about how confident you are. Li Chun suddenly clapped his hands, and the 20 people around him quickly gathered under Xiangdong's lead. Bao Tianxia was already prepared. He had booked the entire restaurant. Now everyone in the restaurant was his people. Lung Chen was alone. Those who are able to gain my trust are not ordinary people. Bao Tianxia smiled in a relaxed manner. If Brother Lung wants to play hard with me, then let's give it a try. Lung Chen's killing intent soared. Since you're already prepared to kill me, then I won't hold back. Bao Tianxia, today I'll let you know the difference between us. Everyone that you can bribe with money, I can use my strength to prove that I can control them. At the very least, we can kill them. As soon as he finished speaking, Lung Chen suddenly burst out like a cheetah. His first target was Bao Tianxia's right-hand man, thousand-faced Guanyin Li Chun. Li Chun's strength was not low, but facing Lung Chen's all-out attack, he was still powerless. She tried to use her arms to block Lung Chen's tyrannical fist, but the moment his fist came into contact with her arms, she heard the sound of bones breaking. Under the full power attack of an Earth-profound realm expert, Li Chun didn't even have the strength to fight back. With just one move, she had completely lost the ability to fight. Lung Chen didn't give her any chance to gasp for breath. His claw pierced through Li Chun's chest like a bolt of lightning. Lung Chen raised his bloody palm and sneered. This is the result of going against me no matter who it is. Think carefully before you fight with me. The scene was quite shocking. The difference between an Earth-profound realm expert and a super expert was so great that it was enough to make Xiangdong and the other super experts present tremble in fear. Pa Lung Chen took out his car keys and turned around to place them on the table. It's not that I don't want to give you a chance. Whoever gets this car key will have the qualifications to be my driver, and I'll spare his life. As for the others, Jia, I'm not a bodhisattva. The car key was quietly placed on the table. The group of super experts who originally wanted to deal with Lung Chen suddenly realized that there was no way they could resist Lung Chen. If they wanted to live, perhaps getting that key was the only way out. As expected of Lung Chen. Such beautiful psychological warfare. But I can also tell you that these people will not betray me. Bao Tianxia sneered. Because I gave them a special poison in their bodies. If they don't get my antidote, they'll suffer a fate worse than death. Everyone listen up. Whoever kills him will be able to obtain the antidote forever. Lung Chen was full of admiration. So the famous big boss doesn't just rely on money to buy people's hearts. He also uses such despicable methods to get things done. Ha ha ha, you're even more despicable and sinister than I imagined. So that means the people here don't have a chance to live? We can live if we take your life. Xiangdong suddenly made his move. At the same time he shouted. He was already behind Leng Chen. If he had half a second, he would have been able to break Leng Chen's neck. Unfortunately, Leng Chen didn't give him half a second. He turned around and kicked Xiangdong in the chest. Flying Skywolf Xiangdong experienced what it felt like to fly for the first time. His body was completely out of his control, and he fell heavily. When he tried to get up again, he felt like his heart was about to explode. The immense pain was indescribable. Leng Chen's kick was filled with qi. It was definitely enough to cause a super expert's internal organs to explode. It was obvious that Leng Chen's eyes were becoming more and more vicious. He didn't have the patience to continue wasting time. Leng Chen's figure flashed through Bao Tianxia's elite team like a ghost. Although he didn't dare to be careless when surrounded by super experts, he didn't have any intention of holding back as long as he took advantage of the opportunity to kill. Those who showed an opening either had their throats ripped open or had their necks broken. There were even some who had their hearts pierced by Leng Chen. In a short period of time, the entire fish restaurant was filled with screams and cries. Facing the crazy Leng Chen, Bao Tianxia suddenly realized that he had made a huge mistake. He really shouldn't have taken the risk. He knew that Su Yin was using him to deal with Leng Chen. He wanted to see a dog eat dog, but he still did it. Perhaps he was really wrong. He should not have continued to pin his hopes on Su Yin, a person who would never help him sincerely, in order to obtain the Pabo Jade under the Xing and Mountain. Just as Leng Chen broke the neck of Bao Tianxia's last subordinate, Bao Tianxia grabbed the car key on the table. Brother Leng, I'll be your driver. Bao Tianxia's change was too great. Just a moment ago, he wanted to break off his relationship with Leng Chen and fight to the death. But now he was suddenly willing to submit, and even lowered his head to pick up Leng Chen's car key. Leng Chen threw the last person's body on the ground with an incredulous expression. Bao Tianxia, has anyone ever told you that you're really shameless? You took my car keys when all of my men were sacrificed? Ha 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 ha. This is the biggest joke I've ever seen in my life. Brother Leng, listen to me. I've thought it through. I've been used by someone. Bao Tianxia said. Since our goal is the same, why don't we work together? We'll become profound sky realm experts together. With my money, we'll become people with a higher status than the three kings. Why should I work with you? Leng Chen said. To work with someone who was just thinking about how to get rid of me a few minutes ago. TSK. Bao Tianxia, your wishful thinking is too good, right? Do you think I'm as stupid as those puppets of yours? I know very well what kind of people I can work with, and what kind of people will only do despicable things their entire lives. Bao Tianxia waved the car key in his hand. But you said that whoever has this key can live. I've got the key. The great king of hell wouldn't go back on his words, right? Go back on my words? Leng Chen asked back. Yes, I did go back on my words. But so what? Don't say that no one here saw me go back on my words. Even if someone saw it, so what? Who dares to say anything against me? Bao Tianxia, let me tell you. Nothing can be considered despicable to people like you. Don't blame me for going back on my words. It's you who makes me sick. Bao Tianxia said coldly. Leng Chen, without my help, you can only find Pabo Yu through Su Yin. You'll never get the Sequoia clansman. Only I know where that person is. Leng Chen was confused. What Pabo Yu? What Sequoia clansman? Brother Bao, you're not scared silly, are you? I haven't done anything to you yet, but you're already silly? Hee. This makes me look down on you. What? Bao Tianxia's brain buzzed. Leng Chen actually didn't know what he was talking about. Could it be that they weren't talking about the same thing? Brother Leng, now that you've gained power, if you want me to die, at least let me know the reason before I die, right? Bao Tianxia said. Why are you looking for Su Yin? Isn't it to get him to bring you to Xing'an Mountain Range to find Pabo Yu? Leng Chen said vigilantly. Old fox, what kind of crooked idea are you thinking of now? Don't dream of distracting me. The person I'm looking for isn't Su Yin at all, but Su Yin is my stumbling block. I really don't understand what you're talking about. If you don't get Pabo Yu, how are you going to break through to the sky profound realm? Bao Tianxia was really stunned. Leng Chen was also stunned. Don't tell me you don't know what happened to the little girl beside Su-yin? Brother Bao, it seems like there's a misunderstanding between us today. But this misunderstanding made me understand you even more clearly. He. I can tell you before you die that the little girl beside Su-yin is a good helper that can make my strength soar. Bao Tianxia's mind was blank. He fell into deep confusion. Since you already know, there's no reason for you to continue living. Leng Chen withdrew his smile and said, Brother Bao, let me send you on your last journey. Dying in my hands isn't a disgrace to you. Bao Tianxia laughed bitterly. It seems like this is my fate. Fine, then give me a quick death. In the end, you still want to trick me. Leng Chen shook his head. I know that your strength is definitely not that kind of mediocre. Fight me head on. Whoever wins will get everything. Whoever loses will go to hell forever. Bao Tianxia, you better be prepared. Ha ha ha. Teacher Zhao said that the most painful thing in life is to die without spending all your money. Chapter 696. The next day, the sun had just risen from the east. Everyone was still sleeping soundly when Su-yin got up and prepared to go out. Brother. Lin Ge opened his eyes and said in a low voice, If you're worried, I'll go out and take a look. You should stay. If they don't see you when they wake up, they'll be worried. Su-yin stopped and looked back at Lin Ge, who was slowly sitting up on the sofa. It seemed that this brat was like him and didn't sleep well last night. They were overly frightened yesterday. They definitely won't wake up so early today. I'll go out and take a look myself. I'll be more at ease if you stay here. The bedroom door was gently pushed open, and Cho Yun walked out silently. You guys go together. At least you can look after each other. I'm here. Don't worry. Su-yin didn't say anything else. He nodded and went out with Lin Ge. Lin Ge chuckled before he left. Sister Cho Yun, if little Dongbei wakes up, tell him that he doesn't need to prepare breakfast. I'll buy it on the way back. Dan Jiahao doesn't have anything to eat other than instant noodles at home. Okay, I'll tell him. Cho Yun nodded. After Su-yin and Lin Ge confirmed that there was no danger in the surroundings, they proposed to go back to the villa to take a look. After the two returned to Yi Fala's villa, Lin Ge was a little puzzled. Brother, no one came here yesterday. Could it be that Leng Chen retreated in the face of difficulties? This doesn't seem like his style. Something must have happened. Otherwise, Leng Chen would definitely come to investigate. Su-yin frowned. Could it be that Bao Tianxia, that old fox, had really controlled Leng Chen? This really surprised Su-yin. Although Su-yin intended for them to fight each other, Su-yin didn't think that Bao Tianxia would win. Bao Tianxia was a cautious person. If there were no accidents, he would not fall out with Leng Chen. After the meal, Leng Chen would definitely come to the scene to look for clues, but Lin Ge said that there were absolutely no signs of anyone being here. Yesterday, it was Lin Ge who had cleaned up the mess, so he knew best what had happened. Su-yin believed that if someone had been here before, Lin Ge would definitely have been able to detect the slightest clue. Leng Chen did not appear, so something must have happened. Su-yin was sure of this, but the only person who could give Su-yin some pointers was probably the big boss Bao Tianxia. Let's go. Let's go back first. After I figure out what's going on, we'll discuss further. After Su-yin finished speaking, he quickly left the scene with Lin Ge. He believed that even if he didn't say anything, Bu Fifan would sell the house. In the future, this place would have nothing to do with them. When Su-yin and Lin Ge returned home with breakfast, everyone was already up. Seeing that Su-yin and the others had returned safely, Ruan Qingshuang let out a sigh of relief. What's the situation now? Qin Wan'er asked worriedly. Will those people find this place quickly? If it's not safe here, I'll find a way to apply for a house in the police station's family building. It's definitely safe to live there. No matter how bold those people are, I'm afraid they won't dare to go directly to the police station to cause trouble. Su-yin waved his hand. That's not necessary. I don't want to cause trouble for the police. If the police get involved, it won't do you any good. I won't get any advantage. Just as everyone was eating and chatting, Qin Wan'er's phone rang. She got up and went to the balcony to answer the call. Soon, she returned to the table with a heavy expression. What's wrong? Wan Qingxuang asked with concern. Qin Wan'er took a deep breath. Last night, something happened at Tianxiang Fish Restaurant in the city. 23 people died. The culprits were cruel and vicious. Among those who died, there were also criminals who were wanted by the entire country. Su Yun, I think this matter is related to the people who want to cause trouble for you. I'll go with you to the scene, Su Yun said as he put down his chopsticks. He wasn't in the mood to eat anymore. If it was as expected, this tragedy was caused by Bao Tianxia and Leng Chun. If Su Yun wanted to gain an advantage in this trouble, he had to know himself and his enemy. He needed to know who was the real winner last night between Bao Tianxia and Leng Chun. Ling Ge said to himself. Now I know why no one went to the villa last night. They all went to eat fish. Even without Su Yun's request, Qin Wan'er wanted to take Su Yun to see what was going on. This time, she decided to throw away her identity. She slowly understood that if she interfered, it would bring unnecessary trouble to Su Yun. It was better to let Su Yun solve the problem himself. Qin Wan'er could see that Su Yun was very cautious about this matter. Obviously, the other party was very scary. The police were definitely no match for them. If the higher-ups knew this, they would definitely report it. The higher-ups would definitely make other decisions. After Qin Wan'er drove Su Yun to the scene, she quickly put on gloves and a mask. Then she strode in. Su Yun followed behind her. He was about to put on a set of clothes to take a look, but he was stopped by 2 policemen. This is a crime scene. Unauthorized personnel are not allowed to enter, one of them said. Be careful. Your fingerprints and footprints will be treated as a suspect. He is my man. He is not an unauthorized person. Qin Wan'er turned around and said. The other policeman hesitated. Chief Qin, but we have never seen him. Who is he? He is someone you don't have the right to know. Qin Wan'er's words stunned the 2 policemen. They both respected Su Yun. Not only did they not stop him, but they also politely saluted him. They handed over the things they needed to bring to the scene with both hands, and invited Su Yun to go in for inspection. Su Yun followed Qin Wan'er into the fish restaurant. The scene in front of him was really visually stimulating. If he had known that he would see such a scene, he would not have eaten breakfast this morning. Qin Wan'er tried hard to suppress the anger in her stomach and asked sternly, What the hell is going on? Why did what happened last night get reported this morning? Where is the owner of the fish restaurant? Chief Qin, last night, the entire fish restaurant was booked by someone. The owner, the waiters, and the chef were all knocked out, thrown into the warehouse, and locked from the inside. A policeman replied. When they woke up and found that the restaurant was locked from the inside, they called the police. When the people from the police station came here to solve the problem, they found that things were not so simple. Where is the owner? Qin Wan'er asked. The boss and the employees of the fish restaurant were all sent away for psychological treatment, because they were too shocked and agitated. Qin Wan'er frowned. Did you ask who booked the entire fish restaurant yesterday? Yes, he said it was a woman named Li Chun. Li Chun. Now investigate all the women named Li Chun in the city, and ask the owner of the fish restaurant to identify her. Qin Wan'er ordered. Yes, Su Yun suddenly said. No need to investigate. Who are you? Qin Wan'er heard Su Yun's words and immediately said to the policeman who questioned her. This is none of your business. Continue to investigate and collect evidence. Then she walked to Su Yun and asked, Why? Su Yun pointed to a female corpse on the ground with a hole in her chest and said, This is the Li Chun you are looking for. You can't find this person in Xinjiang's household register. I'm afraid no one knows her real name. Qin Wan'er only glanced at Li Chun's tragic death, and almost vomited all the food she ate that morning. It was too disgusting. The scene in front of her was not something she could bear. If she was not afraid of damage to the scene, she would have vomited all over the ground. Soon Su Yun found Xiangdong's body. This guy's eyes were still open. It seemed that he died unwillingly. Leng Chun was indeed vicious and merciless. However, after Su Yun looked at all the corpses, none of them were Leng Chen's or Bao Tianxia's. Since the 2 of them made such a big fuss yesterday, they must have decided to fight to the death, right? As for who died, Su Yun had no way of guessing. However, judging from the miserable state of the people at the scene, They should have all died at the hands of the same person. Obviously, Bao Tianxia could not have done anything to Li Chun and Xiang Dong. This meant that everyone here was Bao Tianxia's people, and they all died at the hands of Leng Chun. An earth-profound realm expert was too terrifying. So many super experts were unable to take him down. It was conceivable that if Leng Chun had personally gone to the villa to capture them yesterday, the ones who would have died would have been Su Yun and the others. The huge gap in strength made Su Yun feel a lingering fear. According to the analysis of the scene, after these people died at the hands of Leng Chun, there were obviously more people who had fought fiercely. Could it be that Bao Tianxia had someone who could contend with Leng Chun? Then who could it be? Su Yun sucked in a breath of cold air. Could it be Bao Tianxia himself? If that was the case, it meant that this guy had been hiding his strength all this time. In fact, he was not a weak expert who only knew a little bit of martial arts. He was also an earth-profound realm expert. The more conclusions he came to, the more surprised Su Yun was. These things seemed to be more complicated and difficult to deal with than he had imagined. What did you find? Qin Wan'er asked. Su Yun looked at Qin Wan'er seriously. I'm afraid that the police can't do anything about this matter. Qin Wan'er, you must persuade your director not to overestimate himself. If the police continue to investigate, not only will they not get any results, they will also put more innocent people in danger. The perpetrator of this matter is the person who wants to get Guogua. Qin Wan'er was silent for a while. I know, I won't let the police overestimate themselves, but if someone wants to harm Guogua, I will definitely not ignore it. Even I don't have any chance of winning. Do you think you can? Su Yun. Don't make unnecessary sacrifices. I will think of a way to deal with this matter. Qin Wan'er said. I just talked to the leader on the phone and got the exact news. The higher-ups have arranged for a special combat force to come to Xinjiang to investigate and deal with this matter. If I'm not wrong, they should have arranged for your old friends to come, right? Su Yun's heart suddenly had hope. If the Brothers of Dragon's Fury came, he wouldn't have to worry about not having enough helpers around him. With them, plus Lin Ge and Chou Yun's help, Su Yun wouldn't seem so isolated and helpless. However, there was still a serious problem. Unless Wang Yi personally led the team, they might not be able to win against Leng Chun. Because among the dead people on the scene, Su Yun could be sure that at least 5 of them were super experts. Even if the Brothers of Dragon Fury team cooperated well, they might not be able to reach the strength of so many super experts. Just relying on them alone wouldn't be enough to pose a threat to Leng Chun and Bao Tianxia. Unless Wang Yi, a master-level expert, could bring a few of his old comrades to lead the team, they would have a chance of winning. Because Leng Chun's strength was far beyond Su Yun's imagination. When he first met Leng Chun, he underestimated Leng Chun's strength. He always thought that Leng Chun was at most a master-level expert. He didn't expect this guy to have broken through to the profound world realm. Chapter 697. After looking at the scene, Su Yun had a rough idea of the situation. Putting aside Bao Tianxia, who was still missing, it was more likely that Leng Chun had the upper hand last night. However, Bao Tianxia's strength was still unknown. Leng Chun didn't even investigate the most important thing last night, so he must have suffered some losses. Su Yun, if the special investigation team from above comes, I will contact you, Qin Wan'er said. I have to go back to the station now. Are you going home, or are you going to stay here and investigate? I already know what I want to know. You can go back to the station. I won't cause you any trouble. Su Yun and Qin Wan'er left the fish restaurant together. Su Yun didn't have time to go home and wait for news. The first thing he did after leaving the restaurant was to contact Bao Tianxia. If Bao Tianxia could still answer the phone, he would be able to find out more. Although Su Yun didn't have much hope, Bao Tianxia didn't disappoint him. The moment the call went through, Su Yun felt relieved. It wasn't that Su Yun cared about Bao Tianxia, but he felt that compared to Bao Tianxia and Leng Chun was scarier. Bao Tianxia more or less needed his help, so he had the upper hand. Su Yun, you got me into trouble. Bao Tianxia's first sentence was full of resentment. How dare you call me now? Boss, I'm relieved that you can answer the phone, Suyin said. I was really worried about you. Now that I know you're fine, I'm relieved. Let's be honest. I already went to the fish restaurant where you met Lung Chun last night, but I'm not sure what the situation is right now. That's why I wanted to ask you. Bao Tianxia sneered. Humph. What else do you want to know? My men died in Lung Chen's hands. I almost lost my life too. You made such a beautiful move. You made Lung Chun and I misunderstood that we had conflicting goals, so we fought each other and you reaped the benefits. Big boss, I don't know what kind of conflict of interest you have, but since you're fine, I'm sure Lung Chen has already. Suyin probed. I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you. I don't have the ability to kill Lung Chen. Bao Tianxia said. Since you've called, I'll tell you a piece of good news. Although he's taken advantage of me, I didn't lose out either. You've gotten the result you wanted, where both sides suffered. Isn't this good news for you? Suyin nodded. Indeed, big boss. What do you want me to say? Thank you for the trouble? You've worked hard? Thank you very much? Cut the crap. I want you to meet me. Bao Tianxia said. Suyin didn't refuse. Sure, you picked the place. Let's go to your place. Bao Tianxia said heavily. Suyin smiled bitterly. Big boss, yesterday Lung Chen's people also went to my place. Now I don't even dare to go back, and you still dare to go with me? I'm homeless now. When Bao Tianxia heard Suyun's words, he sneered. Cut the crap. I'm not talking about Yi Fala's property. Don't think that I don't know where you're hiding. When you went to Taiwan, I already monitored everyone around you. I know that you have a little brother called Dan Jiahao who bought a small house in Xinjiang. You win. Suyun's heart trembled. This bastard is really everywhere. Bao Tianxia snorted. I'm just trying to save my life. Although we're not friends, we're still allies, right? If you don't want me to go with you, then I'll tell Lung Chen the address. At most, we'll fight to the death. Suyin didn't dare to take the risk. I promise you. Since you know the address, you don't need me to pick you up, right? I'm already in this district. I'm just waiting for you to come back. Bao Tianxia said his last sentence and hung up. This old fox is really troublesome. Suyin had no choice but to hurry back. He didn't want the destitute Bao Tianxia to do anything crazy. Choosing to ally with Bao Tianxia was the only way to ensure Guogua's safety. Bao Tianxia wasn't as spirited as before. He sat opposite Suyin. Everyone in the room was abnormally nervous. Lin Gu and Chou Yun were in front of everyone, giving them a slight sense of security. Suyin, I've already lost everything because of you. So you have to get rid of Lung Chen with me. Bao Tianxia sneered as he looked at the cup of water on the coffee table. In the past, I used to treat you with the best tea. Is this how you treat me? Suyin shrugged. Boss, this is a special situation. You have to be more tolerant. It's good enough that we have a place to sit down and a cup of water to drink. If we don't get rid of Lung Chen, I'm afraid we won't be able to sit down and have a cup of tea in peace, right? Bao Tianxia snorted. However, he still picked up the cup and drank the tasteless water. Do you have a way to deal with Lung Chen? Suyin said. If you really have a way to deal with Lung Chen, I'll consider going to Shingen Mountain with you. Bao Tianxia raised his head and looked at Suyin. How long are you going to use this to deal with me? Suyin, the reason why I'm standing on the same side as you this time is absolutely not because of this matter. Lung Chen is ruthless. Although I injured him now, once he recovers, he definitely won't let me go. So, I just want him to die now. I want him to die too, Suyin said. But I know I don't have the strength to do so. However, boss's strength really does amaze me. You even injured the Netherworld King. Bao Tianxia was very unhappy. He had indeed injured Lung Chen, but Lung Chen had also injured him quite badly. Their battle yesterday could be said to have shocked the heavens and earth. Bao Tianxia, who had been hiding for so many years, had to use all of his skills to save his life. I do have a way to kill him, but I need your cooperation, Bao Tianxia said coldly. Suyin was stunned. He didn't understand what Bao Tianxia was saying. Guogua took a step forward beside RuanQingshuang. Why do you have so much nonsense to say? Don't keep us in suspense. If you have something to say, just say it. Can't you see that we don't welcome you here? Bao Tianxia's eyes flashed coldly. Su Yin cried out in alarm in his heart. However, it was too late. Bao Tianxia was so fast that Lin Ge and Chou Yan didn't even have a chance to react before Guoguo was snatched into Bao Tianxia's arms. Bao Tianxia, don't talk about the child. I'll agree to anything you want me to do. Su Yin stood up angrily. Our goal is to kill Leng Chen. It has nothing to do with the child. Bao Tianxia chuckled coldly. Su Yin, you're wrong. Killing Leng Chen has a lot to do with this child. Do you think I don't know anything? Let me tell you, Leng Chen has already told me everything. His goal is to kill this child from the Silhouette tribe, who can quickly increase his strength. You're very surprised, aren't you? Su Yin was very shocked. Only Yu Marin had told him about the Silhouette tribe. Leng Chen probably didn't know about this, right? Leng Chen was most likely only suspecting that Guoguo could help him quickly increase his strength. However, Bao Tianxia was so certain. Su Yin, what do you think I care about under the Xing'an mountain range? It's not about those rare treasures. Bao Tianxia said. It's because the Silhouette tribe's patriarch is buried there. I can find Pabo Yu on that patriarch's body that can't be found anywhere else in the world. I know the secret of the Silhouette tribe. You should know as well, right? Shock. Bao Tianxia brought Su Yin nothing but shock. He knew everything. Su Yin really regretted his actions of inviting a wolf into his house. However, it was too late to say anything now. If you really want me to kill Leng Chen, it's very simple. Just give me this girl. Bao Tianxia said. Yesterday's battle has already forced me to break through the limit of the Grandmaster realm. I'm now an Earth Profound realm expert. As long as I have this girl by my side, breaking through to the Sky Profound realm is just around the corner. At that time, the first person I'll kill will be Hell King Leng Chen. Su Yin thought that no one knew this secret, but now it seemed that wasn't the case. Yu Marin wasn't the only one in the world who studied human history. Bao Tianxia was also one of them. It was very possible that he knew the secret of the Silhouette tribe. If you have anything to say, let's sit down and talk. Su Yin tried to distract Bao Tianxia. Lin Ge and Chou Yan weren't far from Bao Tianxia. Although Bao Tianxia's strength was much higher than theirs, it could be seen that he didn't want to fight with them because of Leng Chen's heavy injuries. If he had a chance to win, he wouldn't have spent so much effort to get Su Yin to bring him in, and seize the opportunity to capture Guoguo. Once Su Yin created an opportunity, Bao Tianxia believed that with the tacit understanding between him and Lin Ge and Chou Yan, they would definitely make a move to save her. Trying to play tricks in front of me. You're still too inexperienced. Bao Tianxia pinched Guoguo's chin. Lin Brat and Fox Supreme Chou Yan, the two of you retreat immediately. If you dare to move, I'll break her neck. If I can't have it, I won't let Leng Chen have it either. If I say it, then I'll do it. If worst comes to worst, we'll fight to the death. Guoguo was subdued. Although she was so scared that she didn't know what to do and her lips were trembling uncontrollably, she was more obedient than anyone imagined. She didn't say a word as she faced this sudden situation. Don't hurt her. Wan Qingshuang's legs turned to jelly. Lin Ge and Chou Yan had no choice but to follow Bao Tianxia's instructions and slowly retreat step by step. Right now, ensuring Guoguo's safety was the most important thing. Bao Tianxia was heavily injured. Before he fully recovered, he definitely wouldn't be able to withstand the simultaneous attacks of two super experts. However, he had no choice but to take the risk and obtain this little girl first. If he was a step too late and Leng Chen took the initiative, he would never be able to win. This was why Bao Tianxia had insisted on Su Yin's permission to meet him here, and didn't force his way in. He knew that Lin Ge and Chou Yan were guarding this place. Moreover, before he saw Guoguo, he couldn't be sure that this child was from the Zixahoya tribe. When Bao Tianxia saw Guoguo and the piece of Pabo jade around her neck, he was sure of everything. However, with Lin Ge and Chou Yan guarding the front, he didn't have the confidence to succeed in capturing Guoguo in one move. Therefore, when Guoguo took a step forward, Bao Tianxia grabbed his only chance to control Guoguo. As long as he could control this little girl, he would definitely win. Right now, Bao Tianxia only needed to rely on Guoguo as a protective talisman to leave. In the future, the entire world would be his. Retreat. Continue to retreat. Bao Tianxia roared. And you, Su Yin. Retreat. Chapter 698. Su Yan didn't have the time to regret and blame himself. Although Bao Tianxia was much stronger than them, he was heavily injured. As long as he revealed a flaw, either he, Lin Gu, or Chou Yun would have the opportunity to kill or subdue him. However, Bao Tianxia had always been cautious. How could he reveal a flaw at such a crucial moment? Furthermore, the three of them had already retreated further and further away from Bao Tianxia. They even gave Bao Tianxia enough space to bring Guogua out of the room. Retreat. Retreat to the balcony. Continue to retreat. Bao Tianxia roared at the top of his lungs. He tightened his grip on Guogua's throat. Guogua's face had already turned slightly red from the lack of oxygen. Chou Yun had no other choice. She couldn't just watch Guogua die. The moment she retreated to the balcony, she knew that they no longer had a chance to snatch Guogua back from Bao Tianxia's hands. Now that she couldn't even count on Su Yun, who else could she count on? Even if Bao Tianxia was heavily injured, no one else had the ability to stop him. Furthermore, Bao Tianxia only needed to use a little strength to break Guogua's throat. When Su Yun and the other two had retreated to a safe distance, Bao Tianxia knew that he had won. He had won everything, including Leng Chun. As long as he took the little girl away and endured for a while, he would be able to break through to the profound sky realm. At that time, even the other two sovereigns would submit to him, let alone Leng Chun. Bao Tianxia didn't waste any more time. He rushed to the door as fast as he could. After he left, he would immediately tell Leng Chun the address and let him end everything. He would let Leng Chun know that he, Bao Tianxia, was the one who took away the person he wanted. He would let Leng Chun know that he, Bao Tianxia, was the final winner. If you want to leave, put her down. When this voice floated by his ear, Bao Tianxia felt a sharp pain from his wrist that was gripping Guogua's neck. The sharp boning knife had pierced through his wrist. The furious Bao Tianxia only saw a slightly childish face. Little Northeast's agility far exceeded Su Yun's expectations. He actually stopped Bao Tianxia, who was retreating at full speed, and stabbed Bao Tianxia before he could react. Little Northeast then mercilessly swung the bone cleaver in his left hand at Bao Tianxia's right shoulder. At this time, Little Northeast had already gotten over it. When he killed for the first time yesterday, he was quite frightened. But today, he only treated the other party as a wild boar that had gone berserk. However, Little Northeast had underestimated the strength of this wild boar. Bao Tianxia did not dodge the attack. Instead, he stepped forward and pulled Guogua under the blade. If this saber came down, the consequences would be unimaginable. Little Northeast was shocked. Pulling back his saber with all his might was much more difficult than slashing out with his saber. Bao Tianxia took the opportunity to kick Little Northeast away. Although Lil Northeast was agile and wielded a good blade, he couldn't withstand Bao Tianxia's furious kick. When Lil Northeast's body slammed heavily into the wall, he spat out a mouthful of blood. Lil Northeast's desperate struggle had bought Su Yun 2 to 3 precious seconds. The moment Bao Tianxia got rid of Lil Northeast, Su Yun was already in front of him. Without waiting for Bao Tianxia to react, Su Yun's fist landed between Bao Tianxia's chin and ear like an arrow. Bao Tianxia's ears buzzed and his mind went blank. The hostage in his hand had already been saved by Lin Gu. Chou Yun, who was right behind Bao Tianxia, pierced Bao Tianxia's chest with her flexible sword without hesitation. Su Yun grabbed Bao Tianxia's neck with both hands and twisted it in the opposite direction. Gotcha! Only when Bao Tianxia's tibia was broken did he finally breathe a sigh of relief. Chou Yun pulled out her flexible sword. No one knew if it was to vent her anger, or if it was because she was afraid that Bao Tianxia would wake up again, but she pierced Bao Tianxia's heart again. Bao Tianxia's eyes were wide open as he died. Perhaps even in death, he still couldn't believe that he, who had been brilliant all his life, would be defeated by a 17-year-old chef's apprentice. Guogua was surprisingly calm after being saved. She obediently lay in Ruan Qingshuang's arms and used her eyes to express her gratitude to the people who saved her. Are you okay? Su Yun went forward and helped the injured Lil Northeast up. Lil Northeast rubbed his lower abdomen that was kicked by Bao Tianxia and lifted his shirt to take a look. The abdominal muscles on his lower abdomen were all bruised. Ouch! Ouch! This old bastard's kick is really ruthless. Even a wild boar's head wouldn't hurt this much. F***ck, if he wasn't already dead, I would have kicked him 100 times and let him have a taste of what it feels like. Su Yin grabbed Lil Northeast's pulse. He was worried that Bao Tianxia's kick would cause internal injuries to Lil Northeast, which couldn't be seen from the outside. If Lil Northeast reacted, it would be too late. However, to Su Yun's surprise, Lil Northeast's pulse was very stable. There were no signs of internal injuries at all. It seems that the old man who swindled the pig's head meat on the mountain didn't drink your family's sorghum wine for nothing. Su Yun smiled in a relaxed manner and shook his head. Not only did he teach you a saber technique to kill wild boars, he also taught you a profound qi cultivation technique that allows you to use gentleness to overcome strength and borrow strength to neutralize strength. Lil Northeast shook his head. The old man really didn't transfer any inner strength to me. I've read wuxia books before. Something like the Nine Yang Sutra or the Nine Yin Sutra. The old man didn't teach me anything. He just told me to calm down and breathe normally, adjust my rhythm, and feel the essence of heaven and earth, the essence of the sun and moon, and so on. Lil Northeast, you're so awesome. Does your family know? Lin Gu exclaimed. You really couldn't judge a book by its cover. Maybe Lil Northeast himself didn't know that with his current strength, he could be called a super expert in the underground world where experts were as common as clouds. Su Yin was also quite surprised. Even he, who was known as a talented and intelligent person, had to go through a lot of hardships to break through the realm of a super expert. Lin Gu was able to break through the mental state of a super expert earlier than him. It was also inseparable from the devilish training of the evil god Lu Xuanji. Moreover, the evil god Old Master Lu was a level 9 Earth Profound Realm expert. Together with Lin Ji's intelligence and talent, he could achieve what he had today. However, one couldn't see the slightest shadow of the so-called talent and intelligence on Lil Northeast. Moreover, in just 2 years on the mountain he was trained to this level by an old man. Because Lil Northeast didn't have a formal system of mental state and ancient martial arts, he couldn't judge the level of his mental state. However, there was one thing without a doubt. At least now, even the most powerful expert couldn't hurt him. My family really doesn't know. My father is still angry with me because I stole more than 100 kilograms of pig head meat from home, Lil Northeast said gloomily. Obviously, he felt that it wasn't worth it to learn so little from the old man for more than 100 kilograms of pig head meat. The mysterious old man mentioned by Lil Northeast was definitely not a simple person. This person was probably someone they didn't even dare to imagine. Could it be one of the 3 emperors? Hiss. This wasn't very possible. One of the 3 emperors, Mao Bo and Zhang Taisui, went to the Yellow Springs together. As for the other 2, one was a rumored woman. Almost no one had seen her before. The other was Huang Fugua. Huang Fugua probably didn't have the time to go to the mountain to steal pig head meat. What kind of legendary person did Lil Northeast meet? To be able to train Lil Northeast to this level in 2 years. Even a Sky Profound Realm expert wouldn't have such an exaggerated ability. This is your fate. Don't talk about 100 kilograms of pig head meat. Even if you ask me to pay 10,000 kilograms of pig head meat to see that old man, I think it's worth it. Su Yin said. You're lucky. You used 100 kilograms of pig head meat to exchange for a chance of 2 years. If Lil Northeast had half of their talent, his achievements wouldn't just be like this now. I'll pay even 100,000 kilograms. Lin Gu shrugged, his face full of envy and jealousy. How cruel. Lil Northeast actually bumped into such a precious old man. And actually missed him because his family was reluctant to give up on such a small amount of pig head meat. God, this was too unfair. When I have time, I'll bring 2 kilograms of pig head meat to your mountain as bait every day. I'll definitely drag that old man out. Lil Northeast scratched his head. It's not that I haven't looked for him, but I've already explored the mountains and forests within a radius of 30 kilometers. I'm afraid he's no longer at my place. TSK. I really want to beat you up. Lin Gu sighed. Cho Yun interrupted their conversation. How do we deal with this guy? Our current residence has been exposed. Moreover, even if it's not exposed, I'm afraid no one would dare to continue living here after someone died in the family, right? Dan Jiahao's head was about to explode. This house was bought after the new year. In order to move in time, he bought this exquisitely renovated house. AI selling it second-hand? That would be torturous. I've already paid off a huge sum of money. But if I continue to live here, forget it. Looking at LV Winnie's terrified expression, I don't want to continue living here. Bu Fifan suddenly patted Dan Jiahao's shoulder from behind. Brother Hao, we're the ones who brought this trouble to you. You don't have to keep this house anymore. When this dies down, I'll buy you a nice house in the city. Also, if you get married and have children in the future, this house won't be enough for you to live in. It'll be at least 150 square meters. Don't think it's a pity. Brother Hao, I didn't make friends with you for nothing. Dan Jiahao didn't know if he was grateful for his good fortune, or just unlucky. Ruan Qingshuang shook her head. I'm afraid we really don't have anywhere to go now. Do we have to go back to the hotel? Su Yin definitely wouldn't take the risk to go back to the hotel before he figured out Leng Chen's current situation. There were too many innocent people in the hotel. Qin Wan said that the higher-ups had arranged for someone to come. If it was someone from the Dragon Brigade, Su Yin could get in touch with them. While Leng Chen was injured, they could seize the opportunity to solve this problem. Then, it wouldn't be too late for them to go back to the hotel. Ms. Ruan, I have a place that I share with someone. Little Dongbei suddenly said. No, you have a friend who shares the house with you. We can't let innocent people get involved. Su Yin, who knew when something would happen. Wouldn't it be troublesome if it happened now? Little Dongbei shook his head. If there are people, I won't let you go. I don't want outsiders to know that I killed someone. My friend who shares the house with me went home to attend the funeral. He probably won't be back for a week. I'm just worried that the place I rented is too small. There are so many of us. It's too much for Ms. Ruan and the others. It doesn't matter if it's big or small. As long as there's a place to stay, we'll treat it differently under special circumstances. Ruan Qingshuang said. Little Dongbei, you've helped us so much. We don't know how to thank you. Say thank you, then I'll go. Little Dongbei didn't waste time. He immediately packed up with everyone and went directly to his rented house. Lin Ge stayed behind to deal with the aftermath as usual. When everyone was crowded in the small basement, they realized that the place that Little Dongbei said was too small could actually be so small. Chapter 699. Although the place was small, at least they had a place to stay. Su Yin knew that it was unrealistic to sleep in such a place, so he went out to contact Qin Wanner. Qin Wanner must know where the special forces were staying. All they needed to do was to arrange for everyone to be there before nightfall. After Su Yin left, Lil Dongbei also went out to buy some food for everyone. Although he did not earn much, he was a loyal friend. After all, this was his home, and it was his duty to entertain the guests. Bu Fifan immediately suggested to go with Lil Dongbei. He wanted to be Lil Dongbei's wallet, and Ruan Qingshuang agreed. Bu Fifan's mind was filled with questions after the two little brothers left the room. He was very interested in why Lil Dongbei was so awesome. He also hoped that he could become like Lil Dongbei. At least, when the big guy was in danger, he would be able to step forward and do something within his power. He did not want to be protected by others. Right now, he felt that he was a burden. Lil Dongbei was not stingy. He told Lin Ge all the breathing methods and essentials that the old man had taught him. However, he did not know how to explain the swordsmanship that Bu Fifan was more interested in. After all, it required practice. Even if he could not practice it on a wild boar, he could at least practice it on a domestic pig. Bu Fifan also knew that some things could not be forced, especially what he wanted. It was impossible for him to achieve it quickly. Lil Dongbei's rapid progress in the past 2 years was built on the foundation of the mysterious old man behind him. However, he did not have the mysterious old man behind him. If he relied on himself, he would not be able to achieve anything in 20 years, let alone 2 years. In Bu Fifan's heart, his desire to go to the hunter school was getting out of control. Bu Fifan was like a possessed man. He firmly believed that if he could go to the hunter school for a while, He would definitely be useful to everyone instead of being a burden. Although Bufifin didn't know much, he could see that all these troubles were directed at Guagua. He treated Guagua as his own little sister. He wanted to protect Guagua. This was the reason why he wanted to be strong. And it was also the only reason why he wanted to be strong. Brother Liang, everyone says that you Northeasterners are righteous. I've seen it for myself today. Bufifin carried the food he bought and said, I like to make friends with righteous people. From now on, we will be brothers. Of course. Little Northeast chuckled. The people in my place are all righteous. Whoever is good to me, I will be good to them. Actually, at the very beginning, when those 3 people barged in and wanted to kill us, I thought of running away. Because I have only killed pigs, how could I kill people? But when I think about how Mr. Ruan and the others treat me so well, and Brother Shanzi thinks so highly of me, I don't feel good. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have thought of running away by myself. Bufifin shook his head. Even if you leave, no one will blame you. After all, we already feel very guilty for dragging you into this matter. Little Northeast raised his head and looked at Bufifin seriously. Brother, if I really ran away at that time, even if nothing happened to you in the end, I would feel guilty for the rest of my life. At that time, I only had one thought. Since everyone thinks so highly of me, I have to do something for everyone. Even if I go to jail for manslaughter for the rest of my life, I won't let my conscience down. It's much better than going against my conscience and being condemned for the rest of my life. Besides, Brother Yin and Mr. Ruan are such righteous people. Even if I really go to jail, they will definitely help me take care of my parents. After a pause, Little Northeast continued. I'm just like this. I treat others the way they treat me. We can owe anything in our life, but we can't owe a conscience. Brother Liang, I've only admired a few people in my life. Old Su is one, and you are another. Bufifin said firmly. Let's go back and have a good drink. Little Northeast was stunned and patted Bufifin's shoulder. Brother, I'm afraid Mr. Ruan won't allow you to drink. Haha, I heard you call her aunt. Well, is there a difference in seniority between us? Nonsense, that's because Guagua is my sister. Bufifin was also quite depressed by his awkward seniority. Little Northeast clicked his tongue. Indeed, the relationship was a bit messy. Mr. Ruan and Officer Chin called each other sisters, but Guagua called one mother and the other sister. The 2 of them hurried back after shopping. Everyone was probably hungry now. After Su Yun met Qin Wan, he told her what had just happened. Qin Wan was also shocked and broke out in a cold sweat. Fortunately, they had a guy like Little Northeast with them. Otherwise, things would be more complicated and troublesome. Have you arranged the hotel for the special forces sent by the higher-ups? Su Yun said. I think we should let Sister Shuang and the others stay there at night. It's more or less safer. Little Northeast's rented room is too small. It's just a basement, so no one can rest. Qin Wan nodded and said, I was just about to talk to you about this. The leader said that since they are the soldiers of the special forces sent by the higher-ups, we can't treat them badly. We must choose the best place to stay. However, there are financial regulations. Being thrifty is the General Secretary's call. We can't ignore it. So, you should understand what I mean, right? Yes. Su Yin smiled slightly. You can report to the leader that you have shares in Xinkai Hotel. You can make the decision and arrange it. You don't need to spend a penny on finance. This is a good reference, right? It's cheaper than staying in a small hotel for 31 nights. That's what I mean. Qin Wan said. In this case, around 4 p.m., the special forces sent by the higher-ups will arrive. I will arrange for them to stay in Xinkai Hotel. You can go and tell the housekeeping department to reserve a room first. Su Yin nodded. I will call Chong now and ask him to go to the hotel to arrange it. After they arrive, I will bring everyone back to the hotel. Oh right, I want to have dinner with the special forces alone tonight. I don't want the higher-ups to be there. I don't know how to say a lot of things. Qin Wan was stunned. What if you don't know the special forces members? It doesn't matter if I know them or not. I believe they should know me. Su Yin said, trust me. Qin Wan nodded. Then I will try my best to convince the higher-ups that we don't need to give them a welcome dinner tonight. I'm afraid this will be a bit difficult. After all, they came all the way here. The higher-ups in the city also attach great importance to this matter. If they don't even entertain them for dinner, it will make them look bad. I can tell you a simple method. You can tell your director. Su Yin whispered into Qin Wan'er's ear. Qin Wan'er was numbed by Su Yin's panting. After Su Yin finished speaking, he quickly left. He told Qin Wan'er that she only needed to tell her director. I heard that the special forces are also responsible for investigating corruption. Maybe with just this sentence, no higher-ups would be willing to take the risk. At that time, the higher-ups would definitely tell Qin Wan'er to be in charge of the reception at night. As for the standards, of course, it would be up to Qin Wan'er. They would also say something very official. While eating and drinking well, you must also be diligent and thrifty. Pay attention to the problem of financial expenditure. Su Yin, this guy really saw through these officials. They only needed to throw the problems to their subordinates to solve. As the higher-ups, they only needed to give instructions. When Su Yin returned to Little Dongbei's rented basement and told everyone that they could go back to the hotel to sleep at night, everyone was excited for a while. Little Dongbei was quite embarrassed. It's all because my place is too small. Otherwise, Brother Yin wouldn't have to go through so much trouble. I should be the one saying polite words. It's us who have troubled you. Su Yin smiled and said, Little Dongbei, if you really want to be my brother, then learn from them. Don't treat yourself as an outsider. Don't be polite. Otherwise, we will also be very polite to you. Then we won't be like a family, right? Little Dongbei nodded heavily. Su Yin could always give him this kind of warm feeling. No wonder Bu Fifan always said good things about Su Yin. If it were him, he would also talk about Su Yin to others. His head would be full of Su Yin's goodness. Brother, Lin Ge pulled Su Yin out of the room. Aren't you afraid that Lung Chen's people will cause trouble at the hotel? Then things will get out of hand. If innocent people get dragged into this and get hurt, I don't care. But what about you? How are you going to deal with this? Don't worry, nothing will happen. Su Yin said. The higher-ups have already arranged for the special forces to investigate and solve the major murder case in Tianxiang Fish Restaurant. I told Qin Wan'er to arrange for the people to stay in Xingkai Hotel. The special forces members that came this time might be my old friends. With them here, Lung Chen won't dare to act rashly. Lin Ge nodded. Although it sounded quite safe, he was still a bit worried. Did the special forces have the strength to deal with Lung Chen? We were able to easily take care of Bao Tianxia today, because he was too heavily injured. Su Yin. If Lung Chen was able to let Bao Tianxia go, then his injuries are clearly very serious. This is my chance. As long as I can find his location, I will definitely take care of him. Brother, don't worry. As long as there's a chance, I definitely won't go easy. Lin Ge replied firmly. Lung Chen has done enough bad things in his life. The heavens have already shown him mercy by letting him live until now. It's time for him to go to the Yellow Springs and enjoy his life. Su Yin patted Lin Ji's shoulder. Everything will end. Let's go back to the room. If we whisper too much, everyone will be worried. At this time, Little Dongbei and Bu Fifan had already distributed the food they bought to everyone. Everyone who hadn't had a good meal since last night was hungry, and they all wolfed down the food. If they didn't eat their fill, how would they have the energy to face the unknown danger? Right now, everyone's thoughts were the same. They had to work together and get through this together. Guoguo was very touched. Although she was young, she knew that this was all because of her. If everyone wanted to get rid of this trouble, it was very simple. As long as they chose to stay away from her, they wouldn't be in any danger. However, no one chose to leave at this time. Even if they didn't have the ability to do anything, they all used their actions to show that they stayed here to give Guoguo hope. The fact that they stayed here meant that they believed that Su Yin could solve all the problems. Chapter 700. In the afternoon, Su Yin and Ruan Qingshuang returned to Xingkai Hotel in advance to meet Qin Wan'er. Now the leaders in the city had given Qin Wan'er full authority to take charge and arrange everything. Everyone knew that it was not a good thing. If they could not handle it, it would be easy to lose their jobs and positions. Qin Wanner was also very clear. After all, she was born in such a family. For so many years, her father had experienced dozens of big and small position changes, promotions and demotions. There was definitely a reason. In particular, she knew how difficult it was to be a deputy. Because of a word from the leader, you had to rack your brains to find a way to complete it. If the task was completed well, the leader above would make meritorious achievements. Then he could win the opportunity to be promoted earlier, and win the opportunity to work for the leader at a higher level. Then, as a deputy, he might have the opportunity to be promoted to the position of a leader. Then he would do the same thing, ordering the deputy who replaced him. When he made meritorious achievements, he would jump to a higher position and work for the leader at a higher level. This cycle repeated endlessly, until one day he would receive a retirement notice. If they couldn't climb to a certain height on the day they received the notice, they would lose all their authority and fall into a deep sense of loss. They would experience what it meant when people say that the tea cools when the tree falls and the monkeys scatter when the tree falls. This was the ending that people would face as soon as they entered the officialdom. Few people could be treated like the founding heroes, and no one could be treated like Premier Zhou, who had the United Nations flag lowered to half-mast. However, even so, there were still people who would be happy to fight in the official path. In the end, there were very few people who left their names in history, but more and more people went to prison. People who understood this principle would transfer their wives and children abroad before they got enough money, and went to prison. Then they would seize the opportunity to make a lot of money and leave unscathed. Many wives of officials were very worried before they went abroad. After leaving Huaxia, they could not even find a person to play mahjong. When they really went abroad, they found that the rich district where they lived had so many wives of previous positions. Mahjong? Even if there were 10 tables, they wouldn't have to worry about a shortage of seats. If they were late, they might not even be able to get a seat. There were too many digressions. Back in reality, Su Yan did not receive these VIPs from the special forces with Wan Qingshuang. Instead, he went to the FMB department to look for Shanzi. He wanted to help Little Dongbei apply for leave. Little Dongbei lost his phone when he was fighting with the 3 people in the villa. After knowing what had happened, Shanzi was quite shocked. He did not go back with everyone that day because the hotel had been holding a medicinal cuisine training for the past few nights to select talents among the chefs. Those who were selected would have their wages doubled, so everyone was scrambling to be the first. The training ended quite late, so Shanzi had been staying in the hotel. Brother Yin, according to what you said, this matter is not over yet. Should we put aside the training for now? Shanzi said, solving the problem is the most important thing now. You don't have to worry about this matter. The higher-ups are very concerned about this matter. Otherwise, they wouldn't have arranged for someone to come over. Su Yan patted Shanzi's shoulder and said, just do your job well. Tonight, you'll personally cook a few signature dishes. Shanzi grinned and said, that's not a problem. It's a good opportunity for me to show those guys with potential to see my culinary skills. By the way, Little Dongbei will come over later, right? Su Yan nodded and looked at the time. They should be arriving soon. He will definitely report to you as soon as he returns to the hotel. Speaking of the devil, the first thing Little Dongbei did when he arrived at the hotel was to go to the F&B department. Brother Yun, Brother Shanzi, you're really weird. I was just talking about you and you're already here. Shanzi laughed. Little Dongbei smiled and walked to Shanzi's side. He said to Su Yan, Brother Yin, the guests have arrived. Sister Shuang has already taken them to their rooms. And I got it. Prepare to cook, Su Yan said. I'll go and arrange it. When Su Yan saw the members of the special forces, he knew that the higher-ups had placed great importance on this matter. However, they had also underestimated the enemy's strength. Wang Yi didn't personally lead the team, but 3 captains of the special forces came. The captain of the Modern Dragon Fury team was Shadow Dragon Hua Leitang, the captain of the Dragon Prestige team was Mad Dragon Gong Jiuxiao, and the captain of the Dragon Battle Special Forces was Flying Dragon Yuan Qingdi. The 3 captains of the special forces of the Dragon Brigade also brought the members with the strongest adaptability in the team. Behind Hua Leitang were Black Dragon Han Zhan, Green Dragon Qianfeng, and Violet Dragon Hua Xiaolu. Behind Gong Jiuxiao was Wind Dragon Yang Zhao, Flood Dragon Horse Tung Fei, and Hidden Dragon Yuan Jiang. Beside Yuan Qingdi were Azure Dragon Xingzhe, Fire Dragon Horse Fu Bang, and Soaring Dragon Guan Liang. These people were the best of the best in the Dragon Brigade. As long as they cooperated well with each other, they could become a very strong team. Damn. Qianfeng's eyes almost popped out. He didn't expect that the person standing in front of them would be Su Yun. Boss, are we dreaming? Violent Dragon, hurry up and pinch me. Let me know that this isn't a dream. Hua Xiaolu didn't hold back and gave Qianfeng a hard pinch. Qianfeng was in so much pain that he grimaced. Damn, you really pinched me. Su Yun smiled. It felt good to see his brothers again. Now that we're in Xinjiang, if I don't do my part as a host, wouldn't I be letting you guys down? Of course, I have to let you guys live comfortably. I knew that the leaders of Xinjiang City wouldn't arrange a 5-star hotel for us. Boss, you're sponsoring us out of friendship. Hua Xiaolu sighed. Boss, I want to work with you more and more now. You're rich now. Such a big business. Hua Xiaolu wasn't exaggerating. Su Yun gave them too much of a shock. The other members of the special forces were also shocked, especially Gong Jiuxiao. When Su Yun was in the army, he was chasing after him. Now that he was out of the army, he could still do well. This wasn't something that could be jealous of. Captain Yanlong, you really make us admire you. We can't catch up to you in this lifetime. Captain Yuan Qingdi sighed. To be able to see you here, it really feels like a dream. Haha, we haven't seen each other in a long time. I heard that you went back to the army once. Unfortunately, I was out on a mission and couldn't catch up with you. Brother Feilong, don't call me that anymore. I'm no longer a member of the Dragon Brigade. Now, Old Hua is the captain of Dragon's Fury. Su Yun said. You can just call me Su Yun. Hua Leitang could be said to be the calmest person here. This matter can't be related to you, right? Yin. Su Yun, let's get down to business. Let's go. Let's talk while we eat. Today, I'll give you guys a welcome dinner. Su Yun. Tomorrow, the Xinjiang police will definitely talk to you guys again. However, they know too little. Also, there's a police representative, Qin Ju, here. It's not a small meeting. Qianfeng sighed again. Damn. Qinju, you're really good. You're climbing fast. Qin Wanner smiled awkwardly. She had made great contributions. Which one of them had nothing to do with Su Yun? Shadow Team, there's no mission tonight. Can we have a drink with boss? Hua Xiaolu followed behind Hua Leitang. Hua Leitang turned around and glared at him, but didn't say anything. Hua Xiaolu laughed. Then I'll take that as a yes. Xinkai Hotel's super luxurious single room could easily accommodate 18 people at a large table. However, Su Yun didn't let Chang and the others participate in this meal. Other than the 12 people arranged by the Dragon Brigade, there was only himself, Qinwan Erlingu, Chou Yun, Ruan Qingshuang, Guogua, and Bu Fifan. I say, Qinju, the city leaders asked you to arrange for us today. No matter what, we're a secret team carrying out a secret mission. It's not good to have so many outsiders here, right? As soon as everyone sat down, Gong Jiuxiao threw a big problem to Qinwan. Yuan Qingdi and the others all knew that Gong Jiuxiao didn't get along with Su Yun in the army, so they weren't surprised that he said something like that. Qinwan was really at a loss for a moment. Gong, don't stir up trouble. Qianfeng glared at him. This isn't Longwei's territory. If it weren't for our boss, would you be able to live in a 5-star hotel? Go stay in your little hostel. He would never allow anyone to challenge Su Yun's authority. Su Yun raised his hand to signal Qianfeng not to make the atmosphere so tense. He smiled and said, Indeed, we shouldn't be involved in this matter. After all, I'm no longer a member of the Dragon Brigade. However, this matter started because of me. I know better than anyone else. I treat the Dragon Brigade as my brothers. I don't want them to act recklessly without knowing the situation. Know yourself and know your enemy, and you'll never be defeated. Captain Kwang, don't you know this simple truth? Kuang Long, I believe that Su Yin won't harm us, Wei Tang said. There's no harm in listening to his advice. Before we came here, the higher-ups told us that although we're in 3 teams, I'm still in charge of the overall situation. Even if you don't want to listen to Su Yin, you have to give me some face. Yes, of course. I have to give face to the shadow team. Although Gong Jiuxiao said so, his tone was obviously disdainful. Bu Fifan was already pissed off when Su Yin said the first thing he said. Seeing Su Yin going against him at every turn, Bu Fifan was naturally pissed off. With your character, I really don't know what qualifications you have to be a captain. My godfather has been very polite to you. Don't be so self-righteous. This was the first time Bu Fifan had publicly admitted that Su Yin was his godfather. In the past, he used to call him Old Su. He had never admitted to anyone that Su Yin was his godfather. After he said this, even Su Yin was surprised. This kid was too impulsive. Gong Jiuxiao saw that a kid dared to mock him, and even called Su Yin godfather. Of course, he was even more unhappy. Like father, like son. He had to teach him a lesson. Kid, do you know who you're talking to? What you should be doing is serving tea and pouring water. Respect your elders. For the sake of the big picture, Su Yin had to let Bu Fifan suffer first. He did not want to fall out with him as soon as they met. Bu Fifan, you have no right to interrupt when adults are talking. Sit down and eat. Otherwise, go out and find Chang and the rest. I asked you to help take care of Guogua, not talk back to your elders. Bu Fifan was convinced that Su Yin had scolded him, but he really could not stand Gong Jiuxiao's smug expression. In the end, he acted impolitely and slammed the table, got up and left. Although he was a child, which boy of his age did not want to lose face? At least, he would not have to be angry when he was with Chang. Chapter 701. Seeing Bu Fifan leave angrily, Guogua felt a little indignant for her little brother. She got up and prepared to leave, but Su Yin said firmly, Guogua, sit down. This has something to do with you. You can't leave. Bu Fifan is no longer a child your age. Some things need to be taken care of by himself. Although Guogua didn't think Brother Bu had done anything wrong, she didn't dare to disobey Su Yin's serious tone. Although she was only 7 years old, she knew very well that Su Yin did everything for her. If it weren't for her, Su Yin could have just let go of everything and ignored everything. There wouldn't be so many headaches and troubles. She immediately sat down obediently beside RuanQingshuang. Drink tea, drink tea. Children don't understand. The captains are all big shots. Don't mind them. Lin Ge smiled as he brewed tea and poured it for everyone. Hua Xiaolu found Lin Ge familiar, but he couldn't remember where he had seen him before. He said, You don't have to be so polite. Put the teapot on the table. Whoever wants to drink can turn around and pour. Don't be so polite. We're all on the same side. Brother Xiaolu, you don't have to be so polite with me. I'm the younger one. It's my duty to pour you a cup of tea. Lin Ge laughed. Perhaps these people in Dragon's Fury had forgotten his childhood in Dragon's Fury, but he remembered it very clearly. After he left Dragon's Fury, he went to the old man's island. He didn't interact with many people. In his childhood, other than knowing the people in Dragon's Fury, he only dealt with wild beasts and birds of prey. Hua Xiaolu was stunned. You know me? Lin Ge smiled but didn't say anything. He took the teapot and poured water for Hua Tang. After all, Hua Tang was the oldest of the 3 captains. Although they were all brothers, Hua Xiao's tradition was to respect the elder. Even if he was only a day older, he was still an elder brother. He's Pigeon, the one who quarreled with you when you were young. The one who was sent away by our old Wang. Su Yin exposed Lin Jiyi's identity. Hua Xiaolu was dumbfounded. F***ck. It's you. Lin Ge chuckled. That's right. Why? You didn't expect this, did you? I really didn't expect this. Hua Xiaolu shook his head in surprise. Damn. You were just a little kid back then, and now you're all grown up? I can't believe it. Qianfeng also stared at Lin Ge with his eyes wide open. Flabbergasted, he said. It really is you. Weren't you a little brat back then? Lin Ge said as he poured tea for Emperor Yuanqing with a smile. He unconsciously bypassed Gong Jiuxiao, who hadn't poured tea yet, and was about to pour tea for Qian Feng and Hua Xiaolu. Of course, Gong Jiuxiao was aware of this. He reached out and grabbed the arm of Lin Ge, who had just bypassed him. Boy, in terms of age, I'm older than them. In terms of position, I'm also higher than them. Lin Ge didn't do it on purpose, but after being grabbed by Gong Jiuxiao's hand that contained inner force, he felt an unnatural sense of displeasure. Big brother, I know the order of pouring tea very well. I don't need you to remind me, but when I meet my two brothers who took care of me when I was young, can I also change the position first? Guanglong, don't worry so much. We're all brothers. Emperor Yuanqing was worried that Gong Jiuxiao would hurt someone, so he tried to stop him. Gong Jiuxiao smiled disdainfully. Yes, we're all brothers. I don't care. I'm just a little thirsty. Let this little brother pour me a cup first. Lin Ge suddenly felt a force enter his arm, forcing him to pour tea for Gong Jiuxiao's teacup. Originally, Lin Ge planned to pour a cup of tea to resolve this small matter, but Gong Jiuxiao's overbearingness directly angered Lin Ji's bottom line. No matter what, he Lin Ge was here to serve him because of Su Yun. Otherwise he Gong Jiuxiao was not related to him at all. Why should he pour tea? He Lin Ge was also a super expert. Not everyone had the qualifications to drink tea poured by him. Brother, you'd better let go of me. I don't have a sense of balance. If you grab me like this, I'm worried that the tea will splash on you. Lin Ge still had a smile on his face, but he had already made a move secretly. The teapot had unknowingly moved to Gong Jiuxiao's face, and as long as Lin Ge let go, a pot of hot tea would be poured on Gong Jiuxiao's legs. Gong Jiuxiao was of course shocked. This brat's strength was actually so strong. He really didn't expect such a young brat to be an expert, and an expert who wasn't weaker than him. Su Yun could obviously see that the two of them were secretly stirring up a storm. He opened his mouth and said, "Pigeon, pour the water for Captain Kuang." Gong Jiuxiao, who had suffered a loss, obviously didn't want to lose face in front of everyone. Using Su Yun's excuse, he first let go of his hand and calmly said in a magnanimous tone, "Actually, I'm not someone who cares about such small matters. I'm just thirsty." Seeing that the other party had retracted his strength, Lin Ge was no longer aggressive. As he poured tea for Gong Jiuxiao, he said, "Then I'll go get some mineral water for Captain Kuang now. Does Captain Kuang like to drink 28 filtered and refined Waha mineral water? Or do you want nature's Porter Farmer's spring water to be a little sweeter?" Gong Jiuxiao shook his head. "Tea is fine. I'm not that picky. Then please enjoy." Lin Ji's tea pouring technique was not bad. He filled Gong Jiuxiao's cup to the brim. As long as he used his hand to hold it, it would definitely burn his hand. However, Gong Jiuxiao couldn't lower his head and take a sip first, which would affect his image. Hua Xiaolu could see Lin Ji's intentions. When it was Lin Ji's turn to pour tea for him, he couldn't help but whisper, "You still have so many bad intentions." The only one who knows me is Brother Xiaolu. If Brother Xiaolu didn't have so many bad intentions, how could he understand me? Lin Ge also chuckled in a low voice. Gong Jiuxiao was unhappy in his heart. It was just the beginning, and Su Yun had already taken him down a notch. Although this feeling made Gong Jiuxiao very unhappy, Gong Jiuxiao could only grit his teeth and swallow this resentment. However, he was still unhappy that so many outsiders were involved in their secret mission. This was something that had never happened before. "Shadow Team, you're the person in charge of this mission. You should know what the higher-ups mean. We're doing a secret operation, and a secret mission. We're different from the police. We don't need any military and civilian cooperation." Gong Jiuxiao kicked the ball to Hua Leitang. "You should know very well." Hua Leitang looked at Su Yun awkwardly. He also hoped that Su Yun would understand him. Su Yun knew that he needed to explain something. "Let me introduce you first. This is Ms. Ruan of Xinkai Hotel. All the food and accommodation were arranged by her. This is Lin Ge. When we were young, we were family. However, due to many reasons, he was sent to evil god Lu Xuanji's side by Deputy Wang Yi." Gong Jiuxiao was shocked. No wonder this kid's strength was so extraordinary. It turned out that he was trained by the evil god. He must be a fierce person like Xie Fei's in the assassin world. "This is Chou Yun. Everyone here should be familiar with her. She was by Feng Qiansui's side back then. People in the underground world call her the Violent Fox Venerable, Su Yun said. Everyone should have heard of this name before. Someone with a reputation in the underground world also worked by Su Yun's side. This was quite a shock to the people of the Dragon Brigade. Yanlong was Yanlong. He could get along well wherever he went. As for Qinju, I won't say much. You must all know her position very well. Su Yun smiled. Finally, I will introduce my goddaughter, Guogua. She is also the most important person in this matter. Because the person you are going to investigate next is here for her. That's why I let her sit here. This is not an opportunity to train a child's temperament. I let her stay here because I want you to know everything. The people doing it are more than you know, so your secret mission is not a secret to us. Captain Kwang, now you understand, right? Gong Jiuxiao digested Su Yun's words and asked, Who is the other party? Why do they want to kill your goddaughter? As for the reason, I don't know. Su Yun didn't admit it because this reason was a secret he wanted to keep completely. Even if everyone present was from the Dragon Brigade, and they were all trustworthy people, Su Yun still didn't want them to know. But you don't have to bother investigating who the other party is. I know who it is. Hua Leitang nodded. You've already helped us solve a big problem by knowing who the other party is. Su Yun, tell us who they are and we'll take care of the rest. I'm afraid you can't solve it. Su Yun's expression slowly became serious. Yuan Qingdi and the others looked at Su Yun seriously. They were very curious about who could give Su Yun such a headache. Don't keep us guessing, Gong Jiuxiao said. Gong Jiuxiao said, How do you know we can't solve it? The 12 elites of the Dragon Brigade are not as weak as you think. Yes, Brother Yin, don't worry. Qianfeng said confidently. Our strength is not what it used to be. We have all received special training from Captain Wang Guangxiao for a month. Haha, we have improved a lot. Hua Leitang glanced at Qianfeng. Qinglong, you talk too much. Su Yun was quite surprised. That zombie monster was willing to train them personally? This captain, who no one knew of his strength, would definitely bring them a lot of improvement. How strong are you? Boss, at least we have all broken through the most difficult bottleneck. Hua Xiaolu's words shocked Su Yun. Breaking through the most difficult bottleneck meant that there were 12 super experts standing in front of him. Right now, the Dragon Fury team know the entire Dragon Brigade's strength must have undergone a qualitative change. The captain was indeed the captain. His ability was truly frightening. Gong Jiuxiao was somewhat gloating. Su Yun had already left the Dragon Brigade, and did not receive any pointers from one leader. Otherwise, Su Yun's strength would have soared again. He said somewhat proudly, Su Yun, now you should tell me. What kind of person can make 12 super experts hard to deal with? Seeing Gong Jiuxiao's proud expression, Su Yun felt a little sad. In front of an Earth Profound Realm expert, 12 super experts were not enough to be afraid. Moreover, the other party was not alone. Who knew how many super experts like Yang Yi and Huang Yu were around him? Hell King Leng Chun. Su Yun finally spoke. As soon as he said this name, Gong Jiuxiao's proud expression disappeared. What kind of joke was this? Didn't such a terrifying guy leave Huaxia long ago and live in seclusion on an island in Southeast Asia? How could he appear on the continent? Su Yun, you're not joking with us, are you? Emperor Yuan Qing's face also changed subtly. The level 9 Supreme Power Realm Warrior, who is one level higher than our Master Wang Yi. Su Yun shook his head. To be exact, he is already an Earth Profound Realm expert. When Leng Chun left the continent, he had already reached the 9th level of the Grandmaster Realm. Now he has broken through. I didn't believe it before, but now I am very sure that he is an Earth Profound Realm expert. He is not just one level higher than our master, but one level higher. Chapter 702. Finally, Gong Jiuxiao broke the heavy atmosphere and said, I don't believe it. Su Yun, if Leng Chun wants to deal with you, and he has broken through to the profound world realm as you said, how can you still be sitting here talking to us? I can sit here and talk to you today because I didn't confront Leng Chun directly. If I did, maybe I won't have the chance to see you again. Shadow Team, I think it's better for us to investigate this matter ourselves. Gong Jiuxiao had lost his initial confidence. After all, the news that Su Yin gave them was really hard to accept. It was really out of his expectations. Hu Leitang didn't say anything. Qianfeng smiled bitterly and said, "Wild Dragon, you don't really think that our boss would joke about this, do you?" Gong Jiuxiao was silent. Although he had always been unconvinced by Su Yin, he was still very clear about what kind of person Su Yin was. Su Yin wasn't the kind of person who would casually joke around, let alone joke about such an important matter. No matter how much he denied this matter in his heart, he couldn't convince himself to believe it. Yuan Qingdi picked up the teacup in front of him and drank it in one gulp. This kind of thirsty feeling made him very uncomfortable. This matter was far more difficult than any of the missions he had been on. While everyone was silent, Liang Shan and little Dongbei came to serve the dishes. This sumptuous medicinal cuisine was definitely something that the special forces of the Dragon Brigade couldn't eat on normal days. But now they had lost their appetite. No food could break the tension in their hearts. Su Yin tried to ease the atmosphere and said, "No matter what, we have to fill our stomachs to have the strength to solve the problem. There's nothing that can stop the elites of the Divine Dragon Brigade, right?" Of course it's easy. The more Gong Jiuxiao thought about it, the less confident he was. Of course, he wasn't the only one who had this feeling. He just had the nerve to say it. "Let us face a profound world realm expert." Haha, 2 levels lower. I don't know what kind of joke God is playing. Even Wang Yi can't say he can solve this problem. How are we going to solve this? Everyone was feeling depressed. Qianfeng was still defending Su Yun. At least if we discuss it together, we might still have a chance. What chance? Ever since I came to this room, I haven't heard any good news. Gong Jiuxiao said helplessly. Su Yun, shouldn't you tell us some good news? I really can't find a reason to doubt your words. Leng Chun. Now the whole world knows that he is one of the new 3 kings who replaced Mao Bo. Su Yun smiled slightly. Then I'll tell you some good news. Leng Chun can't replace Mao Bo as one of the new 3 emperors. This is all his wishful thinking. Although he has already reached the Earth Profound Realm, if he wants to truly become one of the 3 emperors, he must have the strength of the Sky Profound Realm. He's not so powerful that he can't be touched, but that doesn't mean we have the strength to contend with him. Emperor Yuan Qing said indifferently, "I think we should report this matter to our superiors." Hu Leitang shook his head. Su Yin hasn't seen Leng Chun yet. We can't be sure that Leng Chun is really here. What do we have to report? We haven't done anything yet. Are we going to tell our superiors that our opponent is one of the current 7 kings, the Underworld King? Are we going to retreat? This is not the cowardice that Dragon Brigade's warriors should show. Su Yin interrupted them. I haven't finished my good news, but I'll say something first. Don't suspect that Leng Chun isn't here because I've already fought with Yang Yi and Huang Yu. At that time, someone was holding Leng Chun back. If it wasn't for that, I would have died long ago. Who has the strength to hold Leng Chun back? Since you have such an expert helping you, why don't you let him sit down and talk? Gong Jiuxiao questioned. Lin Ge was already unhappy with Gong Jiuxiao. He sneered. Because he's already dead. These words made everyone fall into silence again. Even if this person was already dead, Su Yin could see the curiosity and surprise on everyone's faces. The person who helped me hold Leng Chun back is one of the 7 kings, the Jin King. Su Yin smiled. You won't be able to guess who he is. He's the infamous big boss Bao Tianxia, the guy who made his fortune by digging up people's ancestral graves. Bao Tianxia? Qianfeng couldn't believe it. What kind of ability does he have? Su Yin nodded. He hid it too deeply. He deceived everyone in the world because he wasn't as weak as he appeared to be. His strength was second only to Leng Chun. He also said that after his battle with Leng Chun, he broke through the bottleneck of the Earth Profound Realm. Unfortunately, he wasn't my friend. He was also my enemy, so I had no choice but to kill him. This series of shocking news made it hard for everyone to digest. Another Earth Profound Realm expert had appeared. This was too exaggerated. And Su Yin actually said that he killed an Earth Profound Realm expert? What kind of joke is this? Gong Jiuxiao's eyes widened. An earth-profound realm expert, you? How could? After his battle with Leng Chun, he suffered serious internal injuries, which gave me the chance. Su Yun. Of course, if it wasn't for the help of our restaurant's little chef apprentice, I wouldn't have had the chance. Tianfeng hurriedly waved his hand. Wait. Boss, the amount of information you're talking about is too much. Chef apprentice? Help you? Kill an earth-profound realm expert. That's right, it's the little northeast who just served the dishes. Su Yun nodded. But that's not the main point. The main point is that when Leng Chun injured Bao Tianxia, he must have also suffered serious injuries. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let Bao Tianxia live to find me. This is the only good news I have right now. That's right, this was indeed good news. If Bao Tianxia was injured to the point where a little chef apprentice could deal with him, then Leng Chen's injuries would definitely be strong enough. Su Yun knew what everyone was thinking. Don't underestimate Little Northeast. Although he doesn't have any mental cultivation with his skills, I'm afraid that we won't be able to gain any advantage from him. He's not as simple as you think. Ding. Hua Xiaolo's eyes widened. He didn't cultivate his mental state? What kind of genius is he? He has the help of an expert. Su Yun. Tyrannosaurus, put away your curiosity. This isn't something you should be thinking about. I want you to know that the current Leng Chun might not be as strong as we think. If we attack him together, we still have a chance to deal with him. The only thing we need to worry about is how many powerful experts Leng Chun has by his side. Lin Gu added, first of all, we can exclude Yang Yi. He's injured. Other than him, we also know that there's Huang Yu and Peng Jiuanda. Ghost Dr. Peng Jiuanda? Yuan Qing Emperor was startled. Su Yun, I'm afraid things won't go so smoothly. Peng Jiuanda is a medical genius. He may be able to help Leng Chun recover his strength quickly. That guy's title of Ghost Doctor is not for nothing. He has a lot of unorthodox magical methods. He can even let people whose brains are still alive but whose bodies are disabled live in other people's bodies. Qin Wan'er was sweating. If Yuan Qing Emperor wasn't a special force captain of the Dragon Brigade, she would have thought that this guy had watched too many zombie movies. If he could do that, wouldn't this so-called ghost doctor be able to create something horrible like zombies? She felt disgusted just thinking about it. That's right. That's the key to the problem. Su Yun said. I don't doubt Ghost Dr. Peng Jiuanda's medical skills at all. In this world, perhaps only Peng Jiuanda can stand on equal footing with the vicious fairy doctor in terms of medical skills. So, we have to find them and kill them before Peng Jiuanda can cure Leng Chun. This was indeed a very good battle plan. But there were too many unknowns for them to face. However, Su Yun believed that with the quality of the special forces of the Dragon Brigade, there was still hope for them to find Leng Chen's hiding place. At least they were more reliable than the police, and at least they had the ability to deal with sudden dangers. This was the reason why Su Yun had hope in his heart when he heard that there were special forces members coming. Su Yun needed their help. There were some things that he couldn't do alone. At the same time, he also had the responsibility of protecting Guogua. He knew that he didn't have the energy to do so many things. He wasn't Naruto, who could use shadow clones. Su Yun is right. This is the only thing we can do now, Hua Leitang said. Hua Leitang finally opened his mouth. If we can solve this before it's too late, we'll be the victors. Shadow Team, this is not a wise decision. Gong Jiuxiao shook his head helplessly. But this is the only thing we can do. Su Yun looked at Gong Jiuxiao and said lightly, thank you. You don't have to thank me. I didn't come on this mission for you. Gong Jiuxiao said disdainfully, I'm fighting for the honor of the Dragon Brigade. But I don't mind that you owe me a favor for this, really. Su Yun smiled helplessly. Actually, I don't want to owe you a favor at all. I hate owing people favors the most. But since the higher-ups arranged for you to come, I have no choice. I can only owe you a favor. Mad Dragon, don't you care about your face? Qian Feng said disdainfully. It's your duty to do this. Our boss is willing to cooperate with the military, because he's giving face. You're the one who owes him a favor. You still have the nerve to say that our boss owes you a favor? I'm laughing. Don't be so funny. Green Dragon, you better be careful with your words. Otherwise, I'll have plenty of chances to make you suffer. Gong Jiuxiao said through gritted teeth. Qianfeng wasn't someone who was afraid of trouble. I'm waiting. If you have the ability to survive, then we'll find a chance to spar when we get back to the headquarters. I don't believe that I can't take care of you. That's enough, Qianfeng. Stop talking. Su Yin said. Let me toast you all. When this is over, I'll drink with you all. Shadow Team, this wine, what do we do? Hua Xiaolu laughed. Boss is toasting us. If we don't drink, won't it be a bit disrespectful? Hua Leitang was silent for a moment, then he made a decision. He raised his teacup and said, before we complete the mission, we definitely can't drink. This is discipline. When the mission is over, we'll drink until we're drunk. Today, we'll use tea in place of wine. Qianfeng and Hua Xiaolu were especially disappointed, but they still obediently raised their teacups. Chapter 703. After dinner, Su Yin asked Lin Ge to take everyone back to their rooms to rest. However, he asked Han Zhan, who hadn't spoken at all during dinner, to stay. Su Yin could see that Han Zhan definitely had something on his mind. Although Han Zhan also wanted to chat with Su Yin for a while, due to the current situation, he had no choice but to ask Hua Leitang with his eyes. Hua Leitang nodded, indicating that he could stay. Only then did Han Zhan smile. Everyone except Black Dragon, come to my room in 5 minutes for an impromptu meeting. Hua Leitang said, don't be late. Qianfeng and Hua Xiaolu originally wanted to chat with Su Yin for a while, but after hearing Hua Leitang's words, they had no choice but to obediently follow. If they didn't give Hua Leitang face, they were afraid that the others wouldn't take him seriously. After all, they were all people of Dragon's Might and Dragon John. If it wasn't for this mission gathering everyone together, they would definitely look down on each other. Hua Leitang could be the person in charge of this mission because Wang Yi valued the people of Dragon's Fury. They had to understand this principle. Only when they gave face to each other, outsiders wouldn't cause any trouble. Su Yin and Han Zhan stayed in the room. He signaled Ruan Qingshuang to take Guogua and the others back first. He wanted to talk to Han Zhan alone for a while. After everyone left, Su Yin opened his mouth. You have something on your mind? Boss, you know that I can't hide things. Even if I didn't say a word today, you could tell. Han Zhan shook his head helplessly. I don't have anything on my mind. I'm just worried about you. I know how serious this situation is, and I also know why. It's because of that girl, Guogua. Am I right? Previously, Green Ghost caused such a huge bloodbath in Suang because of this little girl. Now the Nether King is involved, and it's also because of Guogua. I don't know what to say, but I feel that this child will really kill you. Su Yin smiled. Alright, I know you're fine. So you were worried about me? Hahaha, don't worry, I'm fine. So what if she kills me? She's my goddaughter. You can't expect me to lose her just like that, right? It's useless to say anything else. I, Su Yin, will protect the people I want to protect even if I have to die. This principle was taught to me by Yin Long at the risk of his life. It's not like you don't know. But boss, this is. Han Zhan reached out his hand and patted his forehead. Forget it, forget it. I won't say anything. I know that no matter how much I say, it will be useless. Even 10 cows won't be able to pull you back once you've decided on something. That's my brother. Su Yin patted Han Zhan's shoulder. Don't worry, I will cherish my life. Otherwise, I will let down Yin Long, who exchanged for a chance to live for us back then. Boss, no matter what, I hope you know that we will support you at all times. Han Zhan said. No matter if the enemy is Green Ghost, the Nether King, or someone even more terrifying, we will not back down. The brothers of Dragon's Fury all have cheap lives. They have nothing to worry about. Even if they die, they don't expect their relatives to burn incense at their graves. We're not afraid of anyone. They all had cheap lives. They had nothing to worry about. When Han Shua said this, it wasn't that his heart didn't ache. Who wanted to be born without worries? Everyone yearned for a life with family and loved ones. However, such a simple life was an extravagant hope that they would never be able to obtain. It was because they had nothing to worry about that they could become the strongest warriors. You're wrong. No one has nothing to worry about. Su Yin smiled. Brothers are your family. Brothers are your worries. Just like how you worry about me, I also worry about you. Okay, you should also go back quickly. Now is the time when Ning Long needs you to give him face the most. Only when our own people set an example and obey his orders will the people of Long Wei and Longzhan have respect for him. Otherwise, I know you understand everything. Even Qianfeng and Hua Xiaolu, those two smelly brats, know the truth. Han Zhan didn't say anything else. He nodded and prepared to leave. Before he left, Su Yin suddenly said, Go back and tell Qianfeng and Hua Xiaolu, those two brats, that as members of the Dragon Brigade and the elites of the Dragon Fury team, they should understand the most basic principle. Obeying orders is your duty. No matter what Shadow Dragon decides, you must obey. When only Su Yin was left in the room, Bu Fifan and Chang walked over from the room next door. They had just finished eating and were waiting for the people in the room to leave. Brother, with so many awesome people here, we don't have to be afraid of anything, Chang said. With them here, those people definitely won't be our opponents. When are we going to fight back? Su Yin finally relaxed. I'm relieved that they're here. However, I'm not sure if we have enough strength to fight against them. That person is so awesome, but he doesn't have the ability. Bu Fifan was still very unhappy with Gong Jiuxiao. He's so arrogant even if he doesn't have the ability. I thought he was very capable. If we really fight, I'm afraid he's not even worthy of carrying your shoes. Su Yin shook his head helplessly. He said to Bu Fifan, I'm very disappointed that you think that way. Bu Fifan, if you say that, with his strength, you're not worthy of carrying his shoes either. Some things shouldn't be too egotistical. You're still young and there are many things you haven't experienced. You'll understand once you experience them. He's the egotistical one, right? Forget it, you're brothers who went through life and death together. Of course he's more important than me. And he's more useful than me now. How could Bu Fifan understand Su Yun's painstaking efforts? I don't have any ability. I can't help you fight or kill. I'm just a burden. Now I'm here to cause trouble for you. Anyway, I'm useless. Why don't you chase me away? Brat, what are you talking about? Chang pulled Bu Fifan to his side. At this time, Su Yin was already under a lot of pressure. Even if Bu Fifan was throwing a tantrum, he should have changed the time and place. Now was not the right time. Su Yin was not in the mood to comfort him. After all, Bu Fifan was a child. Su Yin would not really get angry with him. He just smiled helplessly. I didn't say you're a burden. If you really have the ability to help me, I really don't need to ask them for help. Gong Jiuxiao's words may not be pleasant to hear, but he's liked to go against me ever since I met him. Now he can help me. That's enough. If you can't replace him, then don't talk bad about him to me. He can do what you can't. That's enough for me. Bu Fifan took a deep breath and looked at Su Yin seriously. So you think he's more useful than me? Am I right? That's the truth. Su Yin was just speaking the truth. Okay. I got it. Bu Fifan did not have a big reaction. Instead, he calmed down a lot. Old Su, I know that little Dongbei is 100 times stronger than me. I just want to say that I can't help you because I don't have the opportunity. If I could be like you, I would definitely do a lot of things for you like Uncle Pigeon. Su Yin reached out and patted Bu Fifan's head. Okay, this is not something you should think about. I'll take care of these things. You don't have to think so much. As long as you're safe, I'll take you to see your Aunt Yi in a few days. Yi Fala's performance in prison could be said to be very outstanding. With her help, not only did they crack the biggest drug network in Xinjiang, but they also caught many drug lords in the surrounding provinces based on what she knew. If it wasn't for the fact that her crimes were too serious, with her contributions, her crimes could have been reduced a lot. Considering that she was also a special talent. Even though she was serving her sentence, her treatment was quite special. She didn't need to stay in prison, and had her own 2-bedroom apartment. She had time for leisure and entertainment, as well as time to read books online. This was because the police could obtain a lot of important information and clues through her evidence collection. They could also track the drug lords through her to make it easier for them to catch them more accurately. Therefore, Yi-Fala enjoyed special treatment. This was also something that Su Yin had just learned from Qinwan. Recently, with Yi-Fala's help, the police successfully caught a drug lord who was doing a big deal in Huaxia. It could be said that her merits made up for her mistakes. The leader could promise Yi-Fala one thing. Yi-Fala's request was very simple. It was to find time to meet Bufifan and Su Yin. Originally, this matter was going to happen in 2 days. However, it was delayed because Lung Chen killed so many people in the fish restaurant without any hesitation. Now everyone's focus was on this matter. No one had the time to arrange Yi-Fala's request. Therefore, Su Yin could only solve this matter as soon as possible, so that he could bring Bufifan to meet Yi-Fala as soon as possible. When Bufifan heard Su Yin's words, he was very surprised. "I can meet Aunt Yi? Old Su, you're not lying to me, right? Isn't she? I will definitely fulfill my promise to you," Su Yin said. "Trust me." Bufifan didn't get excited. Instead, he frowned slightly. Su Yin's mind was filled with the matter of tracking down Lung Chen's hiding place. He didn't notice the expression on Bufifan's face at all. "Wait for a while. Wait for me to solve this matter." Su Yin patted Bufifan's shoulder again. "Go back and have a good sleep. You definitely didn't sleep well last night. Rest well. Who knows when you will come in handy." Bufifan shook his head. "Forget it. Even if Brother Liang of the Little Northeast comes in handy, I won't be of any use. I'm the same as Chang and the others. We're all useless." Chang was unhappy when he heard this. "Little brat, how are we useless? With us protecting Sister Shuang and the others, Brother Yin won't be so worried. What do you know? How can you be a man? You look down on yourself." "Forget it. Aunt Shuang has Fox Supreme Cho Yun by her side. Do you really think old Su is relying on you guys?" Bullsh *T. Bufifan didn't care at all. "Forget it. I'm going to sleep. I don't have anything to do anyway. I might as well sleep. It's good that I don't have to worry about so many things. That's the benefit of being useless." Clearly, the more Bufifan said this, the more dissatisfied he was with himself. At this moment, he wished that he had been trained in the Hunter Academy. He wished that he was skilled in martial arts and could kill anyone in his way. That way, he wouldn't have to look at Gong Jiuxiao's arrogant face. As long as he was strong enough, he wouldn't be afraid of Hades King Lung Chen. Even if the real Hades King came, he wouldn't be afraid. He would just kill him. That way, Su Yin wouldn't have to worry so much. "Brother Yin, this kid is a little down. You should take care of him." Chang watched Bufifan leave and said, "He's still in puberty. His mind is very strange." Su Yin nodded. "Yeah, this kid has been a little strange recently. I know what he's thinking. Sai, I spoke too much that day. Forget it. You guys must keep an eye on him for me. Don't let him out of your sight. There's been too much going on these few days. I'm worried that he'll cause me trouble," Lu Feng said. "Brother Yin, Fifan might be a little stubborn, but he's not the kind of kid to look for trouble. He knows that you've been busy recently, so he won't cause you any trouble." That you're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.